Hey there, how's it going, you guys? My name is Justin, and welcome to Love Goes Toward Love. This is another game by Team Anpim. They're the same ones who did My Dream Is to Be a Model, Not a Maid. I really liked that game. I actually put it on my top 3 list, or I guess it was my top 5, but I put it number 3 on my list of just games I really enjoyed in 2021. I thought it was excellent. It was so good. But this was actually a game from 2020, so it's a little bit older, but I haven't gotten around to playing it, so let's go ahead and do that. 1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks. That will be a total of 600 yen. Thank you. 1 cappuccino to go, please. Customer leaves happily with their cup of coffee, and I relax my posture, turning off my employee mode. That is true. If you've ever worked retail, you'll know about that. It's just the two of us again. Business has been kind of slow, hasn't it? Yeah, probably due to that new cafe that opened right in front of ours. She seems a little mad about it. They really couldn't find another place to open up their shop? I don't want to deal with competition. That makes life harder for both of us. I don't get what they were thinking. Maybe this was the only convenient spot available for them? Boss rolls her eyes and goes back to cleaning. It is what it is. It's true that business has been slow thanks to the new cafe. Oh gosh, am I gonna be able to pronounce that? Montagny? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. That sounds like it's in another language, but we're gonna go with Montagny, okay? That opened a week ago, and I have faith that our regulars won't betray us. I mean, if your coffee is good enough, I don't care how many other coffee places are around. I'm gonna go to yours. Hopefully. I lean on the counter and prop up my head with my hands to stare at the new cafe. It's a lot more sophisticated looking than ours, and definitely more sleek and modern. In order to keep my hopes up and think positively, I keep telling myself that people are just interested in trying new things, hence their boom in business. Though it would be a problem if they end up liking their place more than ours. I guess I can understand why Boss would be so anxious about it. Hey, Earth to Juri. Hope I'm pronouncing that one right too. I noticed Team Anpim fixed some interesting names. The other game was very easy names. This one's not so much. I snap out of it and bring myself back to Earth as I'm summoned by Boss. Can you help me clean up the coffee machine a bit, or are you busy daydreaming about getting a girlfriend again? My cheeks begin to heat up at the ridiculous accusation. No? She snickers at my flustered denial and continues to poke fun at me some more. Speaking of girlfriend though, don't you think it's time you find yourself one? You always look so lonely. You know, maybe I can hook you up with someone, though I'm not too sure that I know that many lesbians. I do not look lonely, excuse you. I'm perfectly fine being single, thank you very much. Oh, you can always try dating apps. I heard those help, somewhat. Everything I'm saying is totally going in one ear and out the other, isn't it? I sigh and submit to her trying to play matchmaker. Well, I don't think those apps are my kind of thing, you know? Well, you won't know until you try them. Just leave it to me and make your profile and all the fishies will come swimming your way. The big smirk on her face warns me to never let her create my profile in any dating app. That seems like a great idea. Never trust your friends, honestly. Like, they're just gonna make fun of you, like she is. There's no way in hell I'm trusting you with my profile. Lame. She goes back to wiping the countertop but still hasn't let go of the topic yet, unfortunately. When was the last time you dated anyways? I don't really remember. I say that to quickly end the conversation, but to be honest, I don't really recall at all. It's probably been a good 3 years since I've been in a relationship, let alone seen anyone with the intention of dating them. All the more reason to find someone, Juri. You're saying that there haven't been any regulars that have caught your attention? Not even a phone number left on a napkin for you? I think back to all the years that I've worked here. Most of our customers are definitely around my age, working business people or locals, and sure there have been some exceptionally beautiful and always caught my eye. But I've never made moves, nor have they. I've never felt something urging me to chase after them. I only see the customers as customers, and nothing more to be honest. I mean, it's probably not good not to get your hopes up. I think it's probably because I haven't thought about being in a relationship for a while. Ever since my last breakup, I haven't felt the need to be in one. I'm in no rush. Yeah, that was the same way after I had like a big relationship and then I broke up with her. Well, okay, she broke up with me, okay? But to be fair, she cheated on me. So, there you go. After saying that I was like her Prince Charming and I was this great guy, and she broke up with me because she cheated on me. And I tried giving her a second chance, and we did that for a little bit, and then she broke up with me later. She's like, this isn't working out. She's like, yeah, because you're a cheat. Anyways, as if she read my mind, boss counters my thought. How old are you this year now? 23? You're almost reaching your quarter-life crisis, you know. Team Anpim, I love you so much. Can I just say I love their games because the characters aren't super young. Like 23, perfect. I'm about 25, you know, and I'm married, so it's like I want a little bit of an older crowd to relate to in a game, you know. And I really appreciate that they make a few games that have a little bit older characters. I know they've made some that don't, but at least my dream is to be a model, not a maid, and then obviously this one. They're a little bit older, and I appreciate that. Anyways, I'm sorry, I keep getting off topic. I keep ranting about my life, and that's lame, you know? You guys don't want to hear about it. Shouldn't I pass my quarter-life crisis before getting into a relationship then? It'd be less hectic, wouldn't it? In order to change the focus of attention, I bring up her love life as well. And what about you? Aren't you well past 30 and still single? She tenses up and gets embarrassed. I am not well past 30. I just passed 30. I'm not well past 30. I'm just a little bit over the hump, you know? And I've given up on love. Screw that. Damn, who hurt you? Anyways, don't change the subject. I see what you're trying to do. You know, I won't mind if you get in a relationship with a customer. Just don't sour things and make us lose said customer. I quietly sulk and start maintaining the coffee machine, but at least the conversation ends there. I sigh deeply. I can't tell if I'm tired from hearing her nag about me being single or if it's because I'm actually contemplating on taking her advice. Maybe I should check out those dating apps. I don't think I ever really use dating apps. I think they're a waste of time. But you know, if it works for you, awesome. I wake to the birds chirping and a beam of light cascading into my room through the slit of the curtains. Something about the sunlight during the transition from summer to autumn makes it feel really serene and just comfortable and cozy. Oh, she looks super comfortable. And I like how her shirt says, I like taco. It's not tacos. I like taco. I think that's wonderful. If only I could stay in bed forever. Though as calm as I am right now, it feels like I'm missing something. I reach my hand out to the bedside table and take a look at my phone to check for the time. It's rare for me to wake up before my alarm, so maybe I've fixed my sleep schedule. Except I think it's become worse. 10:50? I'm late. I jump out of the bed at speed of light and get ready as fast as possible, ditching breakfast. Maybe I can eat something at the cafe, or maybe boss won't let me as punishment for being late. Either way, she's gonna kill me. Gosh, she can't be late till work. It's 11:29 now. My phone is blowing up from my boss bombarding me with text. Calm down, will ya? I'm on my way. The shop is in sight now. All I have to do is cross the small road and she can finally stop yelling at me. I hate to tell you, she's probably gonna yell at you once you get in there too. Let's just be honest. You know, if she's already yelling at you, you know, arriving there, she's gonna yell at you the whole day. She's like, hey, remember that time you were late this morning? That's what she's gonna say. My phone is still madly vibrating from the onslaught of messages. Holy cow, if you have so much time to spam me with messages, that means the store isn't even busy at all. It doesn't matter if I'm late or not. I reach in my bag for my phone to tell her to shut up, and all I can feel is a small yet chunky first aid kit, my makeup bag, and whatever other belongings I had in there that are taking up way too much space. I mean, to be fair, you have a first aid kit in there? Like, okay, I don't even know if I have a first aid kit in my car. It's like, that's the one place you'd probably want one, is maybe when you're out and about or at your house, you know. Who has one in their purse? Respect, though. I definitely need to get rid of the mini first aid. Okay, she knows. I may be clumsy, but I think condensing down to just a few band-aids in my bag would suffice. I mean, I think you should just keep the whole thing in there if that's what you got going on. You never know. I finally managed to get a hold of my phone, but little did I know, I was too busy fumbling for it that I crossed the road with an immense lack of caution. Oh gosh, you're not gonna get hit, are you? It's not gonna be that kind of game. I look to my right and see the truck's blinding headlights, and I freeze just like a deer in headlights. I shut my eyes to brace for impact and accept my fate. Maybe I need a bigger first aid kit. Oh gosh, have I said I love Team Anpim yet? Because I do. Their humor is so funny. My life flashes before me, and right when I think the truck is gonna hit, I feel my body get pulled as if pulling me back into reality. Watch out! Oh, okay, a taller lady. But instead of a hit, I end up in a soft embrace. Although it's an accidental one, it's one I don't think I'll ever forget. Are you okay? Their body is warm and their arms feel secure. Safe. And their face inches apart from mine. Instead of seeing the blinding lights of the truck, I now see a pair of beautiful umber orbs. What does umber mean? I thought it was going to be amber, but she said umber. I'm going to have to look that up. We stare into each other's eyes as if time has stopped, and the world only consists of us two. Her brown eyes are intense, filled with concern and curiosity. The gaze into mine hypnotizes me, and I can't help but lose myself in it. Every time I try to muster up the strength to break eye contact, I can't seem to pull away for some reason. And her scent. Oh, what a familiar scent she has. The scent of coffee wafts around and intoxicates me as her eyes are mesmerizing. Hey, just be glad you didn't spill coffee on her like a certain somebody in another game. For someone that has worked at a cafe for years now, the scent of coffee has lost its magic and become numb to me. However, hers isn't the usual coffee aroma. It's different. Refreshing, almost. I continue to bask in the fluttering moment, hoping that it doesn't come to an end. But unfortunately, she breaks the spell. Ah, sorry. She lets go of me and creates some distance. I snap out of it and shake my head to get rid of the lingering effects. Now that I can finally make sense of what just happened, I take a better look at my savior and realize how much of a beauty she is. I know. You want to know what makes her beautiful? It's the hair. She has that really long, nice hair, and then she's also tall. Like, that's where it's at, you know? It's nice. She's a bit taller than me, with her hair cascading down on one of her shoulders. It shines a caramel brown in the sunshine, complementing her tan, long coat. I feel my heart beat madly, and I'm not sure whether it's from the adrenaline earlier, or if I've fallen in love with her at first sight. Definitely could be both. I feel like if someone just saved your life, you would be like pretty, happy about that. Like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I don't even know what you would say. But you would be really happy and grateful to them. And then it doesn't help that they're pretty nice looking, at least to her, My savior gives me a kind smile and leaves me to my own devices now that I'm safe. Be careful now. Dang, and she just dips? We don't even get to talk to her that much. Dang, Juri is like starstruck over here. She turns around and walks away, leaving me with the only sight of her back and long legs. I'm still dazed and shocked until I hear my phone ring with my boss's name on the display. Oh shoot! I cross the road, and this time looking both ways, and head into the cafe, awaiting a scolding from my employer. Yeah, sorry boss, I almost died and I met an angel. That's what you should tell her. After getting reprimanded for being late and getting rejected for free breakfast, I don my apron and start my day. However, I can't stop thinking about the girl that saved me this morning. I was never one to believe in love at first sight, but today has proved me wrong. Falling in love at first sight has never been my thing, but I still don't truly believe that I'm in love. There's something about her that I can't get out of my mind. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't believe in love at first sight either. I think that's BS. But I do believe that you can be infatuated with someone right away, obviously. And I think that through time, you can become in love with someone rather quickly. I mean, it's really easy to tell if you have a connection with someone right away. I just don't think you can fall in love right away. Like, I think love is a combination of experiences and just building up your feelings over time for somebody. I don't think it's not something that happens instantly to me. I think you can be infatuated with something, or you can really like somebody right away. I don't think you can be in love with them. If my opinion is very controversial, tell me what's your opinion on it in the comments. Like, let me know. I could be totally wrong there. Is it purely just her looks? I've never even met her, nor do I know her. Yet I'm oddly charmed by her. Usually my nose doesn't notice the smell of coffee, as it learned to pay no mind to it over the years of working here. However, thanks to her, the smell traveling through the air makes me remember the unexpected encounter. I can still see clearly her intense eyes looking into mine, and how warm they looked when she sent me off with that soft smile. Her hair was lusciously voluminous. I don't know if I can pronounce that word. As if she was a magazine model on the cover. Yeah, she definitely looked like she had some good product in her hair, for sure. It's not usual that I would describe a girl as handsome, but boy, was she handsome. Okay. A mix of both handsome and beautiful. I still remember the safeness I felt within her arms, and how she exuded a warm and comforting aura. The warmth still lingers on my body, and I dare not to shake it off. I shudder at the thought of experiencing it again. But will I ever see her again? I never got her name, and it was the first time seeing her, so she's probably not from this area. I sigh a heavy sigh while staring at the wall from the counter, wondering non-stop about her. Now that I think about it, I didn't even manage to say thank you before she left. I hope I didn't look like a fool, though I probably did if she had to save me from not looking both ways before crossing the road. Just then, Boss whacked me lightly with a rolled up newspaper to get my attention. Ow! Ow yourself, we got customers. Yes, ma'am. Alright then, I'll leave the rest to you. Okay, can we notice her jacket? There's a Nike logo, but it's upside down. It just looks really funny. I love it though. Thanks for the hard work. When 3 o'clock rolls around, Boss leaves me as usual to close the shop. Back then, she would stay and work overtime because I was new, but now that I've worked for a while, she trusts me enough to manage the store on my own. Gosh, that's intimidating though, being in charge of everything. The door jingles as she leaves me alone with 3 customers at the shop. Boss is too stingy to hire another worker, but it'd be nice if I could get some time off. But then again, this is my only source of income, so I guess I'm grateful that I have as many shifts to support myself with. I grab some window cleaner. What is up with that name? What? Just grab some Windex. Why does it have to be window cleaner? That sounds so fancy. And start wiping the windows at the front, since the store isn't busy right now. Once again, I see the new coffee shop across from us. The modern-looking black banner sports nothing but their clean logo reading Montagny? I'm trying to think. Is that German? I can't think. I'm trying to... I know Montag is something, and I just can't think. Anyways, I'm not gonna think about it too much. I'll just fry my brain. Their store looks quite busy in contrast to ours, and the effects of this new competitor are finally striking me. Lately, Boss has been trying to think up some promotional deals to maintain good business, but I think she's in a rut. It definitely has shaken our comfortable business, but I believe we're still doing okay. I wipe off the last spritz of cleaning agent, leaving the window squeaky clean. Though not like it was dirty in the first place. I zone back in and see someone familiar walk out of the doors of the rival cafe. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me since I've been thinking about my savior the entire day, but it's her alright. How can I mistake her for anyone else? My body instinctively slams towards the glass to get a barely closer look. The thud startles some customers and I bow my head in apology, feeling slightly embarrassed. I quickly go back out to scoping out my savior and see her walking down the hill. Oh my god, it really is her. To think I'd see her again. I want to go home and I want to go and meet her once more, and of course to give her the thanks I never gave. But alas, I'm still on the clock. My spirits droop as I watch her walk further and feel the chance slipping slowly away. However, I look around the shop and see that the customers are still doing their own thing and chatting away. Boss isn't here to shame me either. The cafe can hold up on its own without me for a minute, right? I rush out the door and chase her down. Oh gosh, this is such a bad idea. Why would you leave your store? You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired and you're gonna have to go work at that other rival cafe so you can see that girl who's always coming in there. That's what's gonna happen. No, probably not, but still, such a terrible idea to leave your store like that. This time I cross the small road carefully and catch up to her. Excuse me. I tap her shoulder and she turns around, her hair once again flowing like someone in a shampoo commercial. Her eyes widen and a smile bigger than I expected appears on her face. Oh, you're that girl from this morning. Yeah, that's me. My words trip and stumble like I've forgotten how to speak. Wait, you recognize me? Of course, how can I not recognize a girl as cute as you? Dang, she's in. Juri is in, let's go. I can feel my cheeks becoming hot and my eyes flit around in nervousness. Anyways, I just saw you pass by now and I wanted to thank you for this morning. I don't think I thanked you yet. Sorry about that. And who knew if I'd ever be able to see you again. Just had to fit it in, at least, a thanks, you know? My eyes wander towards her face to see her reaction and my heart just melts from hearing her chuckle. I didn't think it was something so important that you'd have to come running out with your work uniform still on. My cheeks burn extra hot after realizing I'm still wearing my apron. I'm too flustered to even reply. I want to punch myself for looking so dumb in front of her. She points at my uniform and gives me a playful smirk. Well, seeing that you work at the place right in front of my workplace, I'd say we'll be seeing each other plenty from now on. Oh, she works at the other cafe. Pardon? She jerks her chin to the direction of the new coffee shop that opened up and smiled at me. You work there? How come I've never seen you around? Today was my first day. Your first day? Yeah. And also probably only my second or third day in this area. Actually, I'm pretty glad you came calling out to me. I would love to make an acquaintance around here, especially since our workplaces are directly across from each other. Would you like to go for a drink sometime after work? I struggle not to ingrain her smile into my mind out of fear of getting a heart attack every time I think of it. If I was ice cream, she would have melted me onto the cement in 1 second. At this point, my face is probably colored the same as a stoplight. The beautiful stranger chuckles again, probably because of my beet red face that I wish I didn't have. Well, you better get back to work. I'll see you around from now on then. And with that, she heads back to the path that she was walking on before I interrupted her. Yeah. Probably should get back to work. Boss is gonna hear about this one. I follow suit and head back to the coffee shop, heart pounding so fast and hard that I can feel the pulsation in my ears. A stupid smile quickly forms on my face, knowing that I finally got to see her one more time. But I never got her name. I swiftly turn around to ask for it, but when I look back, there's no signs of her anywhere. Dang it. I guess it's fine, since I'll have more chances to see her again. My big smile reappears at the thought of seeing her again and possibly getting to know her more from this point on. I'm acting like such a high school girl in love right now. It's kind of bizarre. But it's been so long since I felt like this. Yeah, you should just probably not leave your store again, though. A week later, even though it's already been a week, the thought of her still remains in my head, and I keep anticipating the next time I'll be able to meet her. Throughout the week, I keep trying to take peeks through our window to spot her working. It was hard to see, though, with what the customers in the way and all. Oh, what with the customers in the way. I can't read, I'm sorry. But for the times I did manage to catch a glimpse of her, she really looked cool making coffee while conversing with her customers. Even though there was a time where I thought we made eye contact, but I'm sure it was just my eyes playing tricks on me. Though when I think about it, there probably is just a superficial infatuation just because she saved me and she looks good. Yes, it's probably just a superficial crush. As I get closer to the cafe, I find Boss standing outside, which is a pretty rare sight. It looks like she's talking to somebody across the street. Uh-oh. She's confronting them. She's like, hey, why'd you have to open up your crap right here? For such a new and seemingly inexperienced cafe, you seem to be doing pretty well. Oh, I'm so glad you think that, though you might want to drink some coffee to finally wake up to the reality that we're doing a lot better than a certain other coffee shop around here. Oh, dang, those are fighting words. What the heck? Is that so? Sorry, but I never saw you as competition in the first place. I have more important things to tend to. Seems like someone doesn't care about things they need to be caring about. Like how they might run out of business, I guess. Situation clicks in my head and I quickly step in between the heated discourse. The tension was so high that I was afraid it might turn into a fist fight soon. Boss, what in the world are you doing? Just then, I noticed the handsome girl that saved me is also present at the scene. She stands behind the person Boss is bickering with and acknowledges me with a small wave, though she looks just as distressed as I am. Oh, nothing, just greeting my fellow coffee lover who decided to open their shop right in front of ours and is making business harder for both of us. Correction, it's making business harder for you. Business is booming on this side. Before Boss goes to literally throw hands at the rival coffee shop owner, I grab a hold of her arm and try to calm her down, though I whisper in order to not make the scene bigger than it needs to be. Oi, Boss, get a hold of yourself. We're in public with people around. If you really want to beat her up, invite her to a boxing ring and deal with it there, darn it. Don't lose your cool. Boss looks at me for a moment and takes a deep breath, finally coming to her senses. I look towards the other side of the street and see a smirk on the opposing owner's face while my savior sports a concerned expression. Boss takes a deep breath and relaxes her shoulders, and I breathe out a sigh of relief that no one is injured. You're right. I shouldn't waste my time on someone irrelevant. Likewise. Why don't you guys just be nice to each other? What does that matter? There's enough coffee for everybody, okay? Everybody needs coffee. They'll go to one or the other. Even though I don't drink coffee. I've never had coffee before. No, that's a lie. I did have a little bit. My wife doesn't really drink coffee either, but she ordered something from Starbucks and they accidentally put coffee in there. So I did try a little bit. I can't say I was a huge fan, but you know, I like the smell of it. I think the smell is great, so I could see why some people would like it. The two hot-headed enemies retreat back into their respective shops, leaving us two underlings outside. Make eye contact with the beauty across from me and proceed to bow my head to apologize on behalf of my boss. She does the same when we both follow our bosses inside. Boss is wiping the countertop as I open the door and I start scolding her as if I was scolding a child for getting into a dumb fight. Which is not accurate. Boss, what was all that about? What was that all about? Don't you think that was kind of embarrassing? How'd you even get into that situation? Well, I was out getting a breath of fresh air, and they just so happened to be doing the same thing. Seems like a trend, doesn't it? I literally rolled my eyes in disappointment. Who knew she had this competitive and juvenile side to her? This is the first time I've ever seen her act this way. I know that they're our competition, but you shouldn't be acting so rashly like that. I'm just worried about our cafe, that's all. I know, but let's do what we can, okay? Let's just do what we can, okay? Thankfully, it looks like she's reflecting on her actions since she's keeping quiet and not talking back. I feel like all of my energy is drained because of that fiasco, and I go back to the room to get changed and return to my regularly scheduled programming. Ah, the rivals of coffee shops. Fun stuff. The next day. Things are a lot calmer the next day and back to normal, as if yesterday didn't happen at all. I find it kinda odd, but I'll take it. I don't know if I can handle more childish behaviors from boss, though it was kind of funny yesterday because it was such a rare sight. Since there are currently no customers, I take the chance to wipe the tables and chairs down, even though I'd prefer to be paid for doing nothing. Yeah, same. I mindlessly scrub a table down until boss comes out from the back room, looking at me with a bright face. Juri, come here. Am I finally getting a raise? Yeah, no, you're not. Don't even dream about it. I follow her orders and meet her at the counter. Okay, Juri, I have a mission for you. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's get out your predictions. I think she's gonna have her go over to the other coffee shop and try some of their coffee to see how it compares. Now I'm afraid. Yeah. That's what I thought you were gonna do, except why order everything on the menu? That's a little extreme if you ask me, but okay. Yes, and don't worry, it'll be coming out of my pocket. Oh, okay, that makes it all better. Oh, and don't order everything today, order one thing a day throughout the week. Ordering everything at once is too suspicious. I blink in confusion for the sudden proposal. What are you going on about? I'm trying to see just what's so good about their coffee. Are you pulling something dumb again like yesterday? No, it's called competitive analysis. Now go forth. Here's 2,000 yen. Before I even have time to object, she orders me to change out of my work uniform and transform into a customer. Yeah, I don't see this going like crazy well. I feel like the other owners could be like, what the frick are you doing? But hey, this is an opportunity for her to meet that other girl again. I think that's where we're going with this. I can't believe I'm going along with this ridiculous plan, but I guess it could help with analyzing our competitor. I take off my apron and change into my regular outfit, all the while dreading this new task. Perhaps I can think of this as a break. Now that I think about it, could she be working today? Instead of heading straight across, I take a little detour around the neighborhood. Oh, boss doesn't mind. The neighborhood here is quaint and quiet, the busiest being mornings and evenings. Aside from our coffee shop, there are a couple of restaurants and clothing stores around, which helps bring customers in. It's a really nice and cozy area, but I couldn't ask for a better environment to be in. In around 10 minutes, I make my way back to Montagny Coffee and prepare myself to head into enemy territory. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce that. I can't. I don't know. I can barely pronounce English as well as I can, let alone like another language. As I pass by the window, I take a quick look inside the cafe and discover that the handsome girl is in fact working today. She sees me through the window with an expression of surprise, but is quickly replaced with a grin. Yeah, that just looks more like Starbucks to me. I enter nonchalantly and take a seat at the bar counter. She looks good even in her work uniform, which is just a black shirt and a branded apron. I greet her with a smile and she does the same. Fancy seeing you here. Shouldn't you be at work? Oh shoot, I have to come up with an excuse as to why I'm not at work right now. There's no way I can say I'm here to scout the competition. She tilted her head slightly, anticipating my answer. Our store is hiring someone new, and we're giving them a trial week, something like that. So I was able to get some time off for the next few days. Something like that. Haha, yeah. That was the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard. I hope my lie is believable, but she doesn't seem to be doubting me. Oh, really? That's great to hear. I think she's just being nice. I think she knows, but she's like, okay, that's fine. But what brings you here instead of hanging out elsewhere? I wanted to see you in your work environment? Work environment? You blew it, Juri. Oh? Now I'm feeling self-conscious. No, don't be. Sorry, I didn't. Laughter erupts from her, and she looks at me in amusement. Then I best be putting on my greatest performance for you. I twiddle my thumbs and stray away from her eye contact, afraid I'd somehow dig myself into a deeper hole. I'm sure. She laughs, probably due to my idiocy, again, and switches to employee mode. So what can I get for you today? Speaking of which, I haven't decided what I planned on getting. My eyes peruse the black menu behind her and jot down some mental notes on what they offer. Their menu is not much different than ours. It contains the usual espresso-based, latte-based, and other specialty drinks like teas and seasonals. They also have the more expensive and higher-end coffee beans such as Sudan Romy and Geisha XO, amongst a few others. Those aren't something you see on the menu of your everyday coffee shop. The owner actually knows her stuff, huh? Boss isn't going to be happy to discover that her opponent is quite a formidable one. I look back to the top of the menu again to find my go-to coffee and place my order. I'll take a latte, please. One latte coming up. With that, she heads to her station swiftly to complete my order. Her movements are graceful and efficient, as if she's been working for ages. None of her actions seem clumsy. Not a drop is spilled, not a speck of coffee ground is knocked over, nothing is measured any less or any more. It's obvious that she's a skilled coffee barista. With her working here and the menu of theirs, there's no doubt that this cafe is not one to be underestimated. After seeing her treat even a simple cup of latte with love and care, I know right away that her expertise is the real deal. In just a matter of minutes, the latte is ready to be enjoyed. She places it in front of me, and I notice the classic heart-shaped latte art. I expected her to do something a bit more complex, but it's not like I'm Gordon Ramsay or something. I hope you're not judging me for doing a quick and simple design. Oh no, not at all, though. Okay, maybe I did expect something more complicated. Haha, I don't blame you. You yourself work as a coffee barista after all. I know I was supposed to put on my best performance, but I thought a cute heart would suit a cute girl like you. What? No, I'm not cute or anything. Of course you are. I'm an expert on cuties, did you know? Her wink sends my heart racing and my face overheating. Quick, I have to change the topic before I combust from her compliments. Anyway. Think fast, Juri. So, oh yes, I never got your name, even though it's been a week. Oh right. We'd never formally introduced ourselves, have we? She extends her hand towards me with a charming smile. I'm Mantoku Romy. Am I pronouncing that right? Mantoku Romy? It's a pleasure to meet you. I nervously shake her hand, hoping she doesn't feel any clamminess. I'm Chiyota Juri. Ooh, I really like that last name, Chiyota. That's cool. I really like it. Nice to meet you. Mantoku Romy. That's quite a unique name. Haha, yeah, it's a pretty rare last name. And a pretty rare first name as well. Usually something like Rumi or Hiromi would be more common, but I got Romy instead. Guess I stand out. Oh, you stand out, alright. More ways than one. I love the little insight into her mind. It's great. Pardon? Huh? Oh, nothing. The cup of latte sits snugly within the cradle of my hands, where it warms my palms and sends an alluring aroma into the air. I take a sip from it and revel in the taste of a perfectly made cup of coffee. Romy's eyes are on me as if she's waiting on a judge for an approval of her masterpiece. My eyes meet hers and I automatically look somewhere else instead of holding eye contact. How is it? I try not to look at her when speaking to be polite, but she's too gorgeous to look at it for too long. It's spectacular! She breathes a sigh of relief and smiles to herself. Maybe knowing that I'm a coffee barista myself, she didn't want to lose face by making a cup that wasn't up to par. I'm glad to hear. If you want, Just then a customer walks in and she pauses our conversation. Sorry, I'll get back to you. No worries. She tends to the customer with a bright, welcoming smile and takes their order. Just like before, I study every move of hers as she makes a cup of coffee with grace and prestige. I wonder if I look like that when I make a coffee too. No, there's no way I look that cool. The customer begins creating small talk, occupying Romy even more, so I pull out my phone and start browsing through Instagram. Oh gosh, we're going back to Instagram again. There was like 3 or 4 different ones in the other game. Oh, I have to take a picture of my cup of my latte. Or rather, I'm technically on a mission, right? It shouldn't be fun in games, but then again, I haven't updated my Instagram in a while. Having fun on your phone? I jump a bit in my seat due to her sudden return and she laughs. Haha, oops, did I scare you? You seem kind of deep in thought. Sorry if I interrupted anything. No, not at all. You seem to be having an interesting conversation with the customer anyway, so I just did my own thing. I then notice that she's holding something in her hand and stare at it a bit longer than I should have. Interested? She holds it up, waving in the air, and I become akin to a cat eyeing a toy being waved by their owner. Huh? That customer now just gave me her number. Oh, it's the scene! I saw them like post this, I think it was on Twitter. They posted that in My Dream Is to Be a Model, Not a Maid. So she orders that coffee at the start of the game, right? And she sees this cute barista and she's like, oh, I should give her my number, right? This is the girl she gave it to, was Romy. And I'm so glad I'm actually like playing this a little bit out of order because I think this actually makes me appreciate it more. I know who this is now. Okay, so cool. I mean, I saw this screenshot, so like obviously I kind of knew what was going on, but now I have the context, and that's wonderful. I love it. I really like that there's some kind of continuation in the games almost. You get stuff like this too, don't you? The classic leave a number for the hot barista move. Reminds me of when boss asked me if I get any of those. I didn't think people actually did that. No, I don't get anything like that. Really? Even though you're this cute? She's a sweet talker, but I'm surprised she works in a profession that deals with something primarily bitter. No, haha, I'm just average. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't agree. Me included. Ooh, those are flirting words. Okay. So far in this visual novel, we had fighting words, and now we got flirting words. The blood begins to rush to my face, and from the compliment, I hurriedly try to change the topic. Say, I still haven't repaid you yet for saving my life the other day. If you weren't there, I wouldn't be here right now. Is there anything I can do for you? Of course, only if it's within my abilities. Not made of money, so I don't know if I can pay you much, if that's what you want, but... She looks around and ponders for a bit with her thinking face. Her eyes that are colored like the latte I'm drinking travel down to the white piece of paper in her hands. You don't have to give me money, no, but you can give me your number instead. Whew. That was smooth. Okay. A playful smile flashes across her face, and she patiently awaits for my reply. Except I'm too busy being flustered to even say anything right now. I take a sip of coffee to calm my nerves, but I know my eyes are darting everywhere from the butterflies. Romy tilts her head and gives me puppy eyes. Is that a no? How can I ever say no to those pleading eyes? Of course I'll give it to her. But why would she want my number, out of everything she could have asked for? Well, would you rather I ask for a one-night stand instead? That's very forward. I nearly do a spit take and choke on my drink from her outlandish question, even if it might be a joke. Romy-san, please don't joke about that. She hands me a tissue and giggling nonstop. I take the tissue and wipe my mouth from any dribble, trying to calm down. As always, I'm embarrassing as heck in front of someone I should be impressing. Romy-san, I'm joking. Unless... Would I be interested in a one-night stand? Maybe I won't mind. Okay, for real, I'm joking. But I wasn't joking about your number. She fiddles with the back of her neck and looks down at the counter. Is collecting numbers one of your hobbies? For once, she's looking shy and not making eye contact. I just thought it'd be a lot easier to contact you. Especially since we work close by, we could probably go hang out after work or something. But then again, I guess I could just walk over and find you. I relax a bit after seeing her sound so bashful, which is quite refreshing and frankly, very adorable. She finally makes eye contact with me and searches for an answer nervously. Gosh, how can you say no to that face? I reach out to the paper or the piece of paper she was holding and grabbed my pen from my bag. I jot down my number quickly and slide it back to her. The various objects in my bag have finally come in handy. I look up to see her face, and it's like a child's face on Christmas Day. Wow, thank you. Help, my eyes are blinded by her bright, healing smile. It's really nothing to thank me for, especially compared to what you did for me. Don't worry about it, I still appreciate it nonetheless. Just then my phone starts buzzing and boss's name shows up on the display. Excuse me. My body automatically turns a bit to the side, knowing the boss is trying to check up on my reconnaissance. So, what's taking you so long? I asked you to buy a cup of coffee and you're taking eons. What are you doing? My gaze stealthily looks towards the glass window and sees a faint silhouette of my boss staring, trying to take a look. I turn my back on her and reply, yeah, sorry, I got caught up drinking some really good coffee. I decided to spite boss a bit. You should try some when you get a chance to go to the Montagny Cafe. Hold up, I need to go back. When you go to Montagny Coffee. Okay. Juri! Anyway, see you in a bit. Bye. I quickly hang up and finish my last sip of latte. Romy seems to have started cleaning cups near me while I was on the phone. Romy-san, I have to get going. Thank you for the amazing coffee. Just Romy is fine, Juri. Oh, then Romy. I wave goodbye and get up from my seat, but I'm reluctant to depart from. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the coffee. I give a quick nod and head out the door, knowing that boss is in a rush to hear my report. Like before, I walked around the neighborhood for a bit just in case Romy doesn't spot me. I make sure Romy is occupied in her cafe before I open the door and report back to boss. I told you to check out their coffee, not become a loyal customer. Yeah, we're helping out the competition a little bit. But it seems the competition is interested in us, so... little bit. I cheekily look to the side and pretend that I have no idea what she's talking about. I guess it was a bad choice to have sent you over. Well, it's not like you have anyone else to send. I'll just get another friend or something. But wait! If boss gets someone else to go in my stead, that means I won't be able to see Romy again. I'll continue going. I won't take so long next time. Boss looks at me suspiciously, like she knows what my intentions are. My lips are shut tight, not to spill my ulterior motives and ruin my opportunity for seeing Romy. She's still staring me down with dagger eyes, which are starting to make me feel nervous, and I hope she doesn't question me further. Then her eyes... her eyes... Where do I even get these words from? Then her face relaxes as she lets go of the issue. Fine. You can continue scouting out the competition. My own face relaxes as well, only to be pulled back to my former self again. But you can only do 2 takeouts from now on. Takeouts? Yeah, because you took forever today. I wasn't making you go there to take a break. You were still considered to be on the clock, you know. Did I really take that long? It felt like it was only 20 minutes. It was eons. Right, at best, 25. Whatever, now get back to work. As she turns around to go back to whatever she was doing, I stick my tongue out behind her back, excuse me. It's definitely a possibility that I took a bit longer than I expected, but it was for the better. I was able to finally immerse myself into the environment of what our competitor has to offer. I recall my time spent at Montagny Coffee, and I can't deceive myself any longer, knowing that Romy was actually the only thing I paid attention to. My shoulders slump, and as I head into the back room to switch into my work uniform, I guess I'm stuck here at the cafe. Okay, let's see if I can pronounce this. Is it Caflet or is it Cafle? Is it something more fancy maybe? Caflet? Once again, I'm just gonna call it Cafe Caflet. That's what we're gonna do. I am tripping on my words today. So bad. As per boss's request, at the start of the next day, I head on over to the cafe shop facing ours to order our coffee for takeout. This time, I don't dilly-dally around the neighborhood as much as I did yesterday, in fear of boss giving me an earful again. When I finally arrive at the windows of Romy's coffee shop, I see her and give her a little wave. She returns the wave and greets me with a small grin. The door opens without a jingle, unlike what I'm used to at my workplace, and gently closes behind me. The cafe seems to be full, with nearly every seat taken up. Their business is still doing great and clearly doesn't show any signs of letting up anytime soon. On my way to the counter, I notice a few heads facing Romy. Surprisingly, but unsurprisingly, most of the stares are coming from girls. Long time no see. Good morning. Another latte? Romy grabs a cup in preparation for my order, but I shake my head in response to her question. No, I'll take a cappuccino today. Oh, and it'll be to go. She slowly puts the cup that she picked up away, and a shocked expression appears on her face. To go? Yeah, I was forced to go back to work. That was a short-lived break. Haha, yeah. Is it really okay for you to be walking into work with our coffee, though? Your boss might call you a traitor. She might. Except she's the one that's telling me to try your coffee out. But it's nice to try out other coffees from time to time. Sometimes you just have to step out of your bubble and explore new things. Don't tell me you're here to steal a secret recipe. I gulped from the sudden accusation, fearing that she had found me out. Please don't have that look on your face. You're gonna make me think you really are. But for you, I'd give out my secret recipe any day. Romy subtly sends me a smirk and a wink. My eyes automatically avert to the ground in a bashful manner. If she continues flirting like that so often, I'm seriously gonna fall in love with her soon. As if I likely haven't already. But then I think back to older girls with hawk eyes staring at her like they had their prey locked on to their target. I realize I might have to get in line. Your cappuccino. Thank you. That'll be 700 yen. I pull out my purse and pay for the coffee in exact change, placing it on the small black tray. Thank you for your business. See you tomorrow, hopefully. As I turn around to leave the premise, she calls out to me, which somehow makes my heart beat faster than it should. Would you be happen to be free tonight after work? My eyes blink in confusion and shock. That wasn't something I expected to hear, and somehow I feel a million eyes burning through my back. Oh, yeah, I am. Is something the matter? Romy sticks her hand into her apron pockets and looks at me nervously. Actually, never mind, it's nothing. What do you mean it's nothing? Juri, get back in there. You tell her, yes, let's hang out tonight. Let's go do something fun. You know, let's go grab a drink. I don't know what y'all want to do. I tilt my head in confusion, but try not to think too much of her sudden suspicious behavior. Oh my gosh, Juri, you're too dense. You're too dense. Alrighty then, see you, Romy. See you. I really hope they're still going to go out tonight. I hope that was just like them not being dumb. Obviously they want to go out tonight. They should go out. I walk out of the store with thoughts swimming around in my head, wondering just what she was going to say. Never mind, always get me feeling antsy. However, I focus on the task at hand and report back to boss. Good. What did you order this time? I ordered a cappuccino. Did you drink it yet? How is it? Without even waiting for my answer, she calls a drink from my hands and goes behind the counter to do her research. You've done well. Now please get change while I taste test this. Boss is definitely in her obsessive zone again, so I'll let her do her thing. I enter the back room, put on the store's shirt and apron. By the time I come out, Boss's face is deep in thought as she stares in one spot at the opposite wall. It's kind of refreshing to see her serious side, so I let her be and start wiping the counters. I feel like that's all I ever do though, since our business has still been a bit on the slower side. Exquisite. My attention turns to Boss as she takes another sip of coffee. Boss looks concerned and amazed at the same time. It's supposed to be just another cup of cappuccino. But it's more than that. It's not often that someone can concoct something like this. Only a truly experienced barista can pull this off. It takes skill and love to turn a plain cup of cappuccino into something that makes love to your taste buds. That's a very interesting way of saying that, but you know, it works. They truly are a worthy opponent. I know exactly what she's talking about. After taking the first sip of the latte yesterday, I was just as mind blown as Boss is right now. She looks at me with piercing, fiery eyes, and it seems her competitive nature has re-sparked her passion for coffee. Who made this? I stopped mid-sentence, thinking about whether or not to spill the beans about Romy. Boss still doesn't know we're friends, does she? Would she even care if we're friends? Sure, we're enemies, so to say, but I have the right to make friends with whoever I want, don't I? Someone that works there. I decide to keep it a secret for a bit longer. The flame in her eyes die out after hearing a response that didn't yield any results. You're the worst recon plane, Juri. Maybe I'll just go there myself next time. I guess seeking out our competition will actually do us good. Though it's saddening to hear that our competition is the cafe that Romy works at. Can't we somehow create peace and have a truce? Okay, it's nighttime now. Look, the window's dark. Unsurprisingly, the shop is quite empty. Again. I glance at the clock up on the wall and see that I still have 30 minutes before closing time. But with no one here, I might as well pack up now. Since there are currently no customers, I take out my phone and treat these 30 minutes as my second break. Though it's more like my 10th or 11th break if I'm honest. My lock screen pops up and automatically unlocks using my face, showing me the multitude of apps on the home screen. I press on the Instagram icon, scroll through the new posts and the people I'm following. As per usual, a bunch of selfies, but most importantly, mouth-watering, devilishly tempting pictures of food. My stomach naturally grumbles at the thought of taking a bite out of these delicious meals. Only if I could have a lick of that scrumptious feast. The only good thing coming out of scrolling through these pictures of food is that it helps me decide my dinner. I think I'm in the mood for some Chinese food tonight, or maybe Italian. On second thought, maybe there's nothing good from salivating over these pictures. Just then, the wind chimes of the door ring, signaling a rare customer. Welcome to... To my surprise, Romy comes walking through the doors instead of an unfamiliar face. I mentally take a deep breath to prepare myself to deal with this unexpected event. She greets me with a grin and walks towards the counter. I quickly put my phone down to return her greeting. Hello. Her head looks up and around, surveying the entire store as if she's the monthly health inspector that comes in. Soon, her health? I'm still thinking about the health inspector, and I'm saying health. Soon, her eyes settle towards my direction and gently land on my own hazel-colored ones. This coffee shop is a lot more different than I imagined. Is that a good or bad thing? A good thing. She chuckles slightly and slips her hand into her coat pockets. I think this place is nice. Definitely different from where I work, but different in a good way. I shoot her a skeptical look, but stop my questioning. Are you here to steal our recipes? Not so much recipe, but rather I'm more interested in stealing something else. Dang! Juri, you have it so good. She's interested in you, and she's confident. Like, you're literally in such a nice position right now. Like, you don't even know. A smug expression flashes across her face as she leaves me wondering what just what she's able to steal. Money? I slowly walk towards the cash register while keeping my eye on her concerningly. In response, she laughs out loud, filling the store with her joyous laughter. Don't worry, money's the last thing I'd want to steal. She takes her hands out of her pocket and leans on the counter with her arms. I just wanted to drop by and ask if you're free after work. Yeah, Juri, remember? She was asking if you're free at like 7? I was working overtime today and thought I'd grab dinner around here. But since I'm still new to this neighborhood, I thought I'd ask someone who knows the area well to recommend some good restaurants. Hence why I'm asking you to be my tour guide for the evening. Tour guide? I was about to ask you earlier this morning, that's why I called out to you out of the blue, but I chickened out last second. I was also worried that all the other customers might be out for your blood if I asked you and not them. Think of it as your repayment for saving your life, part 2. Why do I have a gut feeling that there's a possibility of a repayment part 3 or 4? Romy shrugs and gives me a cheeky wink, continuing my friendly banter. I'll include a repayment part 5 and 6 in the package as well, if you'd so like. She is literally like giving out the biggest hints. Like, Juri, please tell me you understand what she's trying to say, okay? Like, you're not dumb. I know you're not. Don't act like you are. You're just being dense, okay? And you understand. It'll click. Somehow it makes my chest feel fuzzy seeing her joke around with me like that. So, will you accompany me? Though it's totally okay if you're not available today. This was pretty last minute after all. There's no way I'm going to turn down this invitation. It's not like I had plans for the night anyways. I would have just been eating dinner all by my lonesome at home. Besides, this is a great way to get closer and find out more about her. But I even have to be the one to ask. Score. I shake my head and reassure her that it's no big deal at all. I'm totally free. I'm all yours tonight. What? There's a moment of silence, with only the slight whirring of machines and the chattering of passerby buyers filled the awkward tension. I totally said something suggestive, didn't I? So she realizes when she says something suggestive, but she's not at all like clued in when Romy says something suggestive. Okay, I see how it is. Way to go, Juri. Please remind Juri to smack Juri in the head later. Romy clears her throat as we hastily break eye contact. My eyes struggle to find a place to settle on, but they end up looking at the clock opposite of me. I bring up another topic in order to air out the lingering awkwardness in the shop. But I won't be off for another 20 minutes or so. You still have some time to kill. What are you going to do until the shop closes? Can I get a glass of water? I comply with her request and anticipate her answer. I hand over the tall glass of cold water to her, and she brings it to a table nearby where she takes a seat comfortably. She looks up at me from her seat and smiles. I'll wait here for you. She's definitely a mad woman. You really gonna sit here for 20 minutes doing nothing? I'm not doing nothing, I'm waiting for you. Man, I sit there doing nothing for hours at a time. You just get used to it. The familiar jingle of the door rings once again, and a small group of 3 high school boys comes in, interrupting my remark. Welcome to Cafe Caplet. Soon after, I completely forget the fact that Romy is sitting there, as I become occupied with orders of coffees. However, when I did get the chance to spot her in my peripheral vision, I can see her coolly sipping on her water as she scrolls through her phone. The scene looks as if from a page in a magazine featuring a stunning model was brought to life. Yo, that chick over there looks hot as hell. Shut up, she can probably hear us. If she frequents the cafe, I might just start coming here more often too. Bet I can get her number before you. Maybe in 100 years, she's not going to be into a scrub kid like you. The 3 laugh in sync with their chimes from the door, and another pair of customers come trickling in. It's unusual that business picks up near closing time, but I'm not complaining, though it makes me wonder if Romy is a lucky charm for business, or if it's her beauty that makes people want to come get a closer look. Either way, the next 20 minutes has me sweating from the sudden influx of orders, and I soon forget that Romy is in the shop until the clock strikes 5 p.m. Oh, I guess it was 5 that they were going to go out, not 7. With a flip of a sign and the closing of the blinds, I signal to the outside that the store is officially closed for the day. Finally, I take a deep breather from the sudden stress just now. Not like it's never happened before, but it would have been a lot easier if Boss was here to help with the orders. In a blink of an eye, my shift's already over, and Romy's voice reminds me that I technically still have one more customer I should be booting out to close the shop. Good work. I turn around to see Romy still stationed at the very spot she chose earlier with her glass empty and a phone out of sight. Thank you. At that moment, my eyes turn towards the things I now have to wash. I also then remember that I still have to close the register, sanitize the coffee machine, and everything else. On second thought, you might have to wait another 30 minutes. I still have to clean everything, wipe the tables, etc. No problem. Do you need help with any of that? Huh? No, you shouldn't be doing any work. You don't even work here. Alright then, what if I said I want to help so that I can get to my dinner faster? Is it true that the procedure... It is true that the procedure would be faster if she helped, but I feel horrible for making someone that's off the clock work, especially when it's not even her own workplace. She walks up to the counter and holds her hand out. I'll let you handle the more important things. I can at least help you clean the tables, right? 4 hands are better than 2. After a moment of hesitation, I decide to bring her on board. I open the cleaning cupboard and retrieve the sanitizing bottles and cloth for her. She slips out of her coat and plops it onto a nearby chair. Her face becomes serious as she rolls her sleeves up. Seeing her switch from casual to working mode makes her look 10 times cooler. Not that she wasn't cool in the first place, but just cooler. Or perhaps hotter. I catch myself staring at her in awe, but quickly return to my own task. Usually I take my time and put some music in the background. With the thought of Romy waiting for me, I complete my work with haste. In no time, the coffee house is sparkling clean and ready for the next day. To make sure I don't miss anything, I take one last look around and do a mental checklist. Perfect. Thank you so much for your help. It would have taken much longer if it weren't for you. Glad to hear that I lifted some weight off your shoulders. Shall we head out? Alright, let me get changed and then we can zoom out of here. Zoom? Wasn't that like Mazda's thing? Zoom. The door gives a solid click as the key locks it shut. I shake the door to confirm that it's securely locked. I'm sure I heard the click, but you never know. Then I drop my keys into my purse and proceed to lead Romy throughout the neighborhood. The chattering of the people and various city noises outside exhibits a stark contrast to the atmosphere inside Cafe Caplet. Once you step outside, it throws you back into the hustle and bustle of everyday life after being in the quiet pause that the cafe offers. The cool autumn air breezes past us, reminding us that summer is now over with, the leaves crunching beneath our feet. So what would you like to eat? There are a lot of restaurants nearby, and they're all fantastic. If I had the chance, I'd bring you to every one of them. When I first started working here, I was astonished by the amount of amazing restaurants around. I probably gained a couple pounds from eating out so often back then, but I couldn't ignore them. They just call to you when you walk past them, begging you to stop by and stay. I was so busy reminiscing about the delicious restaurants that I went on a tangent. Sorry, I must have rambled on. I looked over to Romy and then it hit me how much taller she is. It's not often that I have to tilt my head up while talking to someone. Her face lights up with a chuckle, which reassures me that she didn't mind. No worries, it was cute seeing you be excited. I'm not a child, you know. I'm a full-fledged 23-year-old, thank you very much. 23 years old? A full-fledged baby? If I was more acquainted with her, I would have punched her in the arm, but alas. There. Romy pats me gently on the head to fuel the flame, but I've given up and result to sulking quietly. Anyways, back to your previous topic. Do you have a type of cuisine in mind? She taps her chin and ponders, looking to the sky as if it has her answer. I don't really think about it. I was hoping you'd recommend something for me. I'd recommend you something, but you can probably narrow your choice down for me, right? I know. Romy looks at me with gleaming eyes, almost as if she made a revolutionary discovery. Take me to your favorite restaurant. My favorite restaurant? Yeah, that way we have some place to start instead of spending 5 hours deciding. That is a solution, I guess. Exactly, so lead the way. With that, I accept the request and bring her to my favorite restaurant with a nervousness to my steps. The last thing I want for her is to dislike my favorite restaurant. This is a nice little date. You know, you're going to your favorite place. It'll be a good time, for sure. We arrive at my go-to spot, a rundown hole-in-the-wall gem. Looks may be deceiving, but this is one of the best out there. I hope you like udon. That wasn't quite what I was expecting. No, trust me, this is good. If you end up not liking it, I'll let you include a repayment part 7 and 8. Deal. But you can't pretend to not like it just to fit in a repayment part 7, though. You saw through my strategy. Irashaimase. I'm trying to remember, does that mean like welcome in or something? I know a few Japanese words. And I really like that Team Anpim, like, they're obviously very like English visual novels, but at the same time, it's like very much Japanese too. It's like the perfect balance for someone who's like mainly an English speaker. I really don't know much Japanese. The small udon restaurant doesn't seat that many people, but this place is always packed. Luckily, the wait isn't that long, as we just caught a couple leaving. We take our seats and Romy looks for the menu. Anything catching your eye? Her eyes focus on the menu, zooming from left to right. Everything. That's unsurprising to hear, and I'm glad that the menu appeals to her. If it helps you, I usually get the tanuki udon, but I definitely recommend the wakame udon as a first step. Or if you like curry, the curry udon is really good too. Then I'll take your word for it. Wakame udon it is. Fine choice, madam. We put in our orders and wait for the scrumptious meals to be put into our belly. I twiddle my thumbs on the table trying to find ways to strike up a conversation, but my head is all over the place and can't choose what to say in fear of sounding awkward. Not to mention that the appetizing aroma is making me dizzy with hunger, causing my stomach to grumble again. I'm glad that it's loud enough in here for it not to be heard. The hunger is now not making my brain functional at all, making me think of nothing but food. Food, great topic. What do you usually like to eat, Romy? I like to eat a lot of things. I'm not a picky eater at all. You learn to appreciate the finer things when you live alone. Yeah, I understand that feeling very well. Do you also live alone? Yeah. It's a lot of work, but it gets kind of lonely sometimes, though. But I don't mind. Yeah, it does get lonely, doesn't it? It'd be nice if there was someone to come visit me from time to time. It'd be a lot livelier than just living by myself. If she opened applications for that role, I'd jump on it in a split second. How long have you been living alone? About 6 years now? I was about 20 years old when I got kicked out of the house. Kicked out of the house? I don't really look the type, do I? I never expected you to be the type to get kicked out. You weren't some kind of delinquent, were you? She throws her head back and lets out a hearty chuckle. Would your perception of me change if I said I was? No, not at all. Romy laughs again and leans on the table with her arms. Believe it or not, I was kicked out of the house because I wanted to pursue my coffee-making career. What? That was more like me running away from home. When I told them I want to go into coffee making, they freaked out and absolutely forbade me. Romy's eyes drift towards the table and she starts twiddling her thumbs. It's kind of obvious that this is a touchy subject for her, yet she's willing to share it with someone like me. I wonder just what she sees in me that warrants her to open up like this. Not that I'm complaining. I'm super touched that she's letting me know her history. I'd imagine it's not something you would just tell anyone. My parents wanted me to become either a doctor, lawyer, or something well reputable. They didn't want their image to be soiled by having a daughter that makes coffee. Being a coffee barista is good too. You make crazy good coffee that help people get their day started. Do you know just how many people rely on coffee to survive the day? You practically make the thing that gives them life. If only they saw things the way you did, Juri. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I come from a rich family that's all about status, something I don't care much about. I know I was selfish, but my 20-year-old self wasn't having any of my family's bossing around. So of course, when I told them that wasn't my dream, they got mad and we had a huge argument. And the rest is history. I'm probably shunned from my family because of that, and well, another reason, but that's for another time. I think we can all guess what that reason is, okay? You know what kind of novel this is. You know what kind of game. There's always a stigma, you know, when you like a certain gender and you so happen to be that same gender. You know, some people don't like that, and your family might scold you for it. You know, obviously I don't have those feelings, but like I'm very sympathetic towards those people, because it's like, you don't deserve to be treated badly because you love who you love. Like, that makes no sense to me. It must have just been tough to just suddenly leave home like that. I can't even imagine what it would have been like for you to have your family shun you. It was pretty rough at first, especially because I've relied on my family for money and such, but through the hardships I've gained a lot of knowledge and experience. So for that, I'm kind of glad I left, because if I didn't, I probably would have rotted away by now. Who knew someone like her had to go through such hurdles to be doing what she loves right now? You can't really judge a book by its cover. But please don't be too sad about my past. It's much better to stay focused on the present, because look where I am at now, having dinner with an insanely cute girl. Like clockwork, the blood immediately rushes to my face and I feel the warmth invading my cheeks. Romy, you have to stop doing that! This is the truth. And besides, you're really cute when you blush, so... Romy shrugs in a mischievous manner while giving me a sheepish smile. I didn't think anyone could get enough of that. My face heats up even more from her absurd comment, and all she does is laugh at me again. If she keeps saying stuff like this, I swear I'll end up boiling my face off. To change the topic, I brought up a question I had while she was telling me her story. She mentioned something about being shunned by her family for another reason as well. I'm not one to pry, but it's the only thing that popped into my head in desperation to switch to the topic at hand. So hey, what was the other... Hi, one tanuki adan and one wakame udon. Did I say that right? Hold up. We're going back. If my mouse will work. Tanuki udon and one wakame udon. Okay. Just then, the aroma of the bowls of udon makes me forget about everything, and my mouth starts watering like no other. The beautifully displayed ingredients in the bowl are beckoning for both of us to start devouring without another word to be said. I usually am the type to let my phone eat first, but today I just can't wait any longer. I was really thrown off by what she was trying to say. I think she's trying to say normally I would take a picture of it, have the first bite, and then she would eat. One swift motion, I lift my chopsticks and deliver a bunch of noodles into my salivating mouth without even blowing on it. The heat hurts, but oh, does the taste counterbalance the pain. I struggle to eat the scalding thick noodles, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying the exquisite flavors dancing in my mouth. Delicious. My mouth is probably full as a chipmunk while I try to chew on the delectable noodles. I like how she absolutely, she's not worried about looking embarrassing anymore. She's just like, food. It's like, I can relate to that. I look towards Romy to see her reaction, and to my joy, her face is just as illuminated as mine. This is extraordinary. She takes another big bite, this time with some wakame seaweed alongside the thick white strands. I've had an udon before, but never any this good. I can't help but put a big dumb smile after seeing her reaction. Isn't it? I've honestly never found any other udon restaurant that has beaten this place. And even if I do find one better, this place will always have a spot in my heart. I'm very happy you shared this place with me. We should come here more often so I can try the rest of the menu. You bet we could. And don't forget about the other restaurants nearby. You're bound to see a whole new world. Haha, sounds like a plan. For most of the meal, both of us became silent as we only focused on vacuuming our meal up like we did. It was a race to see who could finish first. It truly was delectable. I'm glad you liked it. I really don't know what I would have done if you ended up not liking it. You would have had to deal with repayment part 3. No thank you. We both burst into laughter at our recently created inside joke. I never in my life predicted to be laughing alongside the new handsome girl on the block that everyone and their mom has their eyes on. But knowing that I'm having fun with her makes me feel a certain type of way. Actually, could it be me falling in love, or is it just infatuation? Or could it be the satisfaction of obtaining the impossible? I'm not quite too sure, but all I know that it is nice. Although I've just recently met Romy, it seems as though I've known her all my life. Something is making me gravitate towards her. Perhaps it's her charisma, and I'm just like all the other people that want a piece of her. But this feels different from how I felt about other people. As much as it is fleeting, it is just as scary. I don't want to fall hard in case it really wasn't meant to be. This is only our second time being together alone though, so I can't possibly gauge my feelings from just 2 meetings. But for some reason, I feel like these feelings are inescapable. My head becomes so drowned in these deep thoughts that I don't even notice her hand waving in front of me. Juri, let's go. Huh? Oh. Wait, we didn't pay yet. I just did while you were daydreaming. Wait, one moment, you paid for our meal? Yes. Is that a problem? No one said you were going to pay for the meal. I'll pay you back. I fumble for my wallet inside my purse, but Romy gently grabs onto my arm and halts me. No, it's fine. I'm the one that invited you out anyways. You're my tour guide for tonight, remember? Let me do at least this much. Her sincere face relaxes my tense muscles and I let her have her way. Alrighty then. But next time I'm treating you to a meal, got it? Got it. Cold air greets us once more and the sun has already gone to bed, leaving us with a dark purple sky. We stop a few steps outside the restaurant door and see a line up on the side. Well, we were pretty lucky, weren't we? I'm glad you were there to help clean up so you didn't have to wait in line like this. But it was already packed when we went in, so maybe we weren't that lucky. Touché. Romy looks at her watch and looks around, wondering what to do next. It's still quite early, but you might be pretty tired. Do you have someplace else you want to go? I do have to stop by the convenience store to stock up on some stuff, but if you have anywhere you'd like to check out, I'd be glad to accompany you. Haha, if only we had a car. We could probably go somewhere farther. I'd take you to the most stunning places I've ever been to. Eh? You drive? Well, yeah, what's so surprising? No, nothing. It's just I didn't know that many people that drive, seeing just how tedious it is to get a license here. Yeah, but I was kind of forced to. Parents said it would be useful. Not that useful when you don't have a car to drive. I've gotten used to transiting, though, even if it takes twice the time to get to places sometimes. Maybe I'll save up for a car. Romy then turns shy as she sticks her hands in her coat pocket and looks at me with a face asking for permission. If you don't mind, can I tag along with you to the grocery store? I don't have any other plans, and I frankly don't want to spend the evening alone moping at home. It's kind of cute how at times the demeanor of a 6-year-old kid pops up in just a split second. I've yet to learn how to say no to her. Of course you can. As long as you don't mind me getting sidetracked in the grocery store. Her face brightens up and almost lights up the entire dark street. I have all the time for you to get sidetracked. The street lights are now on to illuminate the path for us, with the help of the soft glow emitting through the shop windows. Sounds of people chattering bring the street to life despite the cold and dark. The grocery store isn't far, but it's still about a 10-minute walk. And for those 10 minutes, I thought it'd be a huge silent journey, but Romy didn't let that happen, which I'm grateful for. Awkward silences are the worst. So what about you? How did you get here working as a coffee barista? Compared to Romy's story, mine is a lot more simpler. So simple that I'm kind of embarrassed that it's not any grander. There's no story, really. I graduated high school and wanted money. I found this place and got hired somehow, even though I had no experience whatsoever. It was probably because my boss was short on staff and just decided to get anyone she could. And now I'm here. Oh. Please don't sound so disappointed. No, please don't misunderstand. I'm not disappointed at all. In fact, I kind of envy your autonomy. The grass is always greener on the other side, my friend. I envy your passion and dedication to the point of leaving a comfortable life to pursue your dream. Oh, I was young and reckless. But like I said, I don't regret it. I mean, definitely. Especially when you're young, it's like, you're young enough to be able to take risks, to take chances. You might as well do it. If there's something you really want to do it, you know? Like, live your life. I'm just really happy I was able to befriend someone in the same field, though. And I'm happy that you see me as an equal in said field. I saw you working earlier. I know you know what you're doing. It's nothing, really. Just years of working there under my boss. Still really impressive. Don't undermine yourself. Romy's hand reaches my head and gives it a few congratulatory pats. Her head pats are still a sensation that I don't know if I can get used to yet, but I don't seem to mind them. You seem pretty close to your boss. She practically raised me in the coffee making scene. I know she's a bit immature at times, but she can be one of the most mature people I know, until she starts getting competitive. I roll my eyes thinking back to our little argument she had with Romy's boss a few days ago. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to coffee, even when it doesn't look like it. So I learned a lot while working under her. I would assume so, since she's raised such a great barista such as you. I'm still learning though, even though it's been a while since I've started working here. And I hope you'll be a part of the learning journey. I'll be a part of your learning journey as well, and you can teach me stuff along the way too. Romy looks at me with an affectionate smile in the dark, and her visuals stun my ability to think anything about her. So breathtaking that I can't look at for too long or else I'll die from asphyxiation. I peek at the floor to rid myself of the butterflies, but they simply refuse to leave. Of course, that'd be nice. I dig around my purse for my phone to double check my grocery list. Since I'm familiar with this grocer, I know my way around it without even paying attention to where I'm going. Probably for the better so I don't get sidetracked by snacks. Gosh, that's my wife. She's always like looking at snacks. She's always gotta find something sweet to eat. Right now our latest obsession is those Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, the ones that have a little bit of a crunch to it and has the vanilla inside. It's the one without the almonds though, because who likes almonds? Like, let's be honest. Anyways, if you like almonds, I'm not saying you're a bad person. Just saying I don't really care for almonds. I wind up in the produce section and pick out the juiciest looking strawberries, and almost let my eyes wander to the novelty white strawberries I can never afford. White strawberries? I've never even seen those before. In haste, I attempt to put the strawberry pack I've chosen into a basket, but I realize I forgot to grab one as I entered. Looking for this? Romy hands me the basket that I was looking for, and she saves my life once again. Oh, yes, thank you. I didn't know if you needed it, but brought it along since you didn't pick one up. Your list did seem kind of long. You seem to always end up helping me in some way. I feel bad. I take the basket from her and place the pack of strawberries in. Just racking up repayment coupons. That was a joke for the record. A chuckle spills out from her, seeing her be so worried, and she laughs along with her melodic voice. We continue on my grocery adventure, with me grabbing unnecessary snacks along the way, much to my chagrin. Is that how you I don't even know how you pronounce that, chagrin? I don't know. Team Anpim is always using these like interesting words, which I appreciate. I mean, it's nice. I just don't know what some of them mean, or I don't know how to pronounce some of them. They make my job like trying to commentate something difficult, is what I'm trying to say. Up and down each aisle we go, with our eyes wandering to every item on the shelves. Oh, Romy, look! The sight of a pink packaging catches my eye and draws my attention towards it like a magnet. Other brands on the shelves are also starting to spark interest, and I'm tempted to buy them all. Romy glances at the direction I'm pointing in and stands beside me to take a closer look. As she steps closer, the back of our hands brush against each other, sending a jolt of electricity through me. I nervously move my hand away and slip it into my pockets. I don't know why I'm acting so strange around her, that even the slightest contact causes my brain to do somersaults. She seems to be able to charm everyone, me included, and I can't seem to get away. It's not like I want to get away. To ease my nerves, I go back to the topic at hand that caught my attention. It's the super spicy noodles in carbonara flavor. I've been waiting for it to be restocked for the longest time that I completely forgot about it. My hand instinctively reaches for the pink pack of noodles featuring a cartoon chicken on it. I should go back to saving, but it's finally in stock for once. I think you should get it. Yeah? Yeah. She softly pries the bowl of noodles out of my hands, sending yet another electric shock through my fingers. The pack of spicy noodles lands safely into my basket thanks to Romy, and sits perfectly in there like it always belonged there. Better to buy it than regret not buying it, trust me. I'll surely go bankrupt if I go shopping with you all the time. Romy shrugs and gives me a cheeky smirk. Then I'll just take responsibility and take care of it for you. As per usual, the mad blushing of my face appears, and I steer my attention back to the plethora of instant noodles. For some reason, I can sense Romy sporting a winning smile because I know she's trying to make me fluster on purpose. I dash in front of her to hide my never-ending red face and pretend to look at some other stuff on the adjacent shelves. My attention wavers here and there to look at all the fancy and eye-catching brandings until Romy lets out an unexpected yelp. Ow! In a flash, I rush back to Romy to see what hurt her. Are you okay? Romy lifts up her index finger to me, and I see a spot of blood oozing out of the tip of her digit. Hold up. What did that say? Digit. Out of her digit. What does that mean? Just a paper cut? Or plastic cut? I bumped my hand into something sharp on the shelf while I was putting something back. I'm fine, though. Give me your hand. Place my grocery basket down and dig through my bag for my mini first aid kit. Her hand is stretched out obediently like an owner asking their puppy for their paw, even though I'm the one asking for her hand. I wipe down the blood with a clean tissue and disinfect it with an alcohol wipe. A first aid kit in your bag at all times? You're really prepared. Yeah, just a habit of keeping one in my bag in case I'm because I'm clumsy. I was about to remove it from my bag, but you're lucky I didn't just yet. It comes in pretty handy when you need it. Like right now, for example. I carefully wrap the colorful band-aid snugly around her finger and then stuff the garbage into my pocket to throw in the trash later when I find one. Romy inspects her newly band-aided finger. Band-aided finger. You saved my life. Oh please, it's just a paper cut. Plastic cut. I roll my eyes playfully in response to her meticulous detail of her injury. Plastic cut. The two of us giggle in the empty aisle and resume our grocery store adventure. Now what was it that I needed next? Romy waits for me at the door, exploring the variety of vegetables out on display as I check out over everything. Sorry for the wait. No worries, do you have anywhere else you need to drop by? I try thinking of somewhere I could possibly need to go in an effort to make the night last a little longer. There are no more errands I need to run, but I don't want to part ways with Romy just yet. I take out my phone and to look for somewhere to hang out, but the screen reads 9:32. As selfish as I'd like to be though, I know she works early in the morning, so maybe I shouldn't keep her out too late. My phone gets put back in my pocket and I suggest to head home. I think that's all for today. Are you sure? Yeah. Alright then, shall we head to the station? By the time we arrive at the station, the lights have become more blinding and the place more lively. Our designated platforms are in opposite directions, so we say our regards by the stairs leading to the platform entry. Thank you again for hanging out with me tonight. It's no problem, and besides, I haven't hung out with someone in a while, so it was two birds with one stone to be honest. If you ever need someone to accompany you somewhere, I'm always here for you. I'm literally right across the road. I'll take you up on that offer then. Don't you take back your word. I could never. I instinctively move an inch to hug her goodbye, since I usually do that with friends before parting ways, but stop myself in time in fear of possibly crossing an imaginary boundary. I don't think we're considered close enough friends to warrant a hug, so I leave it at that. Okay then, good night, Romy. I'll probably drop by tomorrow morning for some coffee. Good night, Juri. I reluctantly turn around for my train, but her voice calling out to me stops me in my tracks. Juri! My head turns back to see if Romy needed something. She stands there facing me with a delicate expression, as if she had a bunch of things she wanted to say. I tilt my head in a questioning manner that asks her what she wants to inquire about. Can I see you again? My head tilts to an even steeper angle, wondering why she's asking such an obvious question. Of course you can. I work right across from you. You can literally see me whenever you want through the windows. No, that's not... Romy chuckles to herself and slightly shakes her head. That's right, it isn't. Just wave and I'll wave back, assuming I'm looking at the right time. I'll pay extra attention to when you look for the window then. You don't have to, since I'll most likely be busy, but sure. Alright, good night for real now. Get home safe. Good night. And with one last goodbye, I rush to catch the train home. She doesn't know. She doesn't know that Romy has all these feelings for her. I think she's just in denial because she's like, oh, Romy's probably out of my league. But Romy's literally like trying to make these a date, you know, like these outings. One day Juri will know. She'll realize. I belly flop onto my bed and rest my eyes for a few moments before I go to shower. The evening replays on my brain and a smile comes forth as I recall my time with Romy. There's a possibility that I may have fallen for her, even though this was just our second meeting. Am I jumping too quickly to conclusions? I can't tell. The angel on my shoulder is telling me it's love at first sight, but the devil is saying that I'm only feeling that way due to my lack of being in a relationship, causing this head over heels ordeal. I bury my face on my pillow to brush the two imaginary beings away. These confusing feelings are making me go crazy over someone I just met. How is that even possible? Do I really miss liking someone that much that I'm completely smitten with someone that might not even see me in the same way? I turn my head to the right and stare at the black headboard on my bed. Maybe the void can clear my thoughts a bit. Seeing how things are right now with the ambiguity of her feelings versus mine, I should most likely just keep it at the back of my head and let it play out by itself. I'd rather not ruin something nice. Right. My phone vibrates in my jacket pocket and I check who sent me a message. Speak of the devil. Thanks again for tonight. Hope I can see you again and not in a through the window kind of way. I recall the moment when she asked if she could see me again. At the time I thought it was really strange, but now I understand. My head flumps onto the pillow to muffle the sounds of my distress. Do I want to scream? I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm such an idiot. Oh, thank goodness, she's finally understanding. I was like, please, somebody needs to say it. Like, obviously, there's something more going on, okay? In the blink of an eye, it's already the last day of the week, whereas this reconnaissance mission comes to an end. The past few days have been a blur since nothing else happened since our evening outing on Wednesday. However, since then, we've started to exchange more texts on Ryan, talking about nothing or sharing stories about customer experiences. It's great to have someone understand the pain and have someone to talk to about coffee making with that's not the boss. The shoulders slump in dread. My shoulders slump in dread, but even I remember that even after this, I can still ask her to hang out from time to time, so it's not like it's my last time seeing her, even if it feels like I'll never be able to meet her again. The cold metal door handle sends a shock of chill to my palms, and I bolt inside this shop in search of warmth. Not only am I greeted with warmth, but the strong smell of coffee envelops me with open arms. And like always, Romy's cheerful smile never fails to welcome me in the morning. Good morning, Juri. Good morning. She pauses her task and gets ready to take my order without knowing it's my last one for a while. What would you like today? My eyes scan the menu to deduce what I haven't ordered yet. I decided to choose one of the more expensive options since it's not coming out of my pocket anyways. I'll try the hot Spanish latte, please. Coming right up. I hand over the exact change and stand to the side to wait for my order. As Romy's busy crafting my cup of coffee, I take the time to look around the shop and snoop a bit. The dim yet cozy atmosphere is the same as ever, and the customer count seems to be around the same throughout the week. There are noticeably more female customers, but they aren't lacking in the number of male patrons. For being somewhat late in the morning, there are quite a number of customers sitting in for their coffees and breakfast. Aside from the different aesthetics of our cafe and the recent disparity of the customer count, there isn't that much of a difference if I'm going to be honest. Boss predicts that in a couple of months they'll be the same as us. I glance over at the counter and see Romy concentrating on her job, making the drink with a certain poise. God, is she breathtakingly hot while making coffee. I can't believe just one look at her washes away all my thoughts of a competitive analysis I'm supposed to be doing. Who am I kidding? Anyone would be entranced by her beauty. Here you go, your hot Spanish latte. Thank you. I put a sleeve on the coffee cup and start to head out, but she calls out to me. Juri, are you free tonight? Me? Yeah, at around 9 p.m. Yeah, I'm pretty free around then. If I wasn't free, I'd drop all my existing plans for you. Do you want to go out for a drink? We won't stay out too late, it'll only be a few drinks. You also work the weekends, right? A drink? Like alcoholic drinks? Yeah. I know a place a few stations down from here that was gonna wind down with some drinks, and I thought I'd invite you. Not much of an alcohol kind of girl, but if it's to accompany Romy, I don't think I'd mind a few drinks either. And since it's only a few stations down, and it's still relatively nearby, so I won't have to worry about traveling too far. Okay, I'm down to go. Great. Would have been nice to go out to eat with you for dinner too, but unfortunately I have business to attend to. Oh, no problem. I can hang around somewhere until 9 p.m. I'll text you the name and address of the bar later. Okay. The date then? She flashes a wink at me playfully, and like all the other times it's happened, the heat rises to my face. I've got to learn how to control that, if that's even humanly possible. Okay, I won't hold you up for much longer. I don't want you to get a scolding from your boss. I feel like I always get scolded no matter what I'm doing, even though I know she's doing it out of love. Haha, you can tell me about it tonight over some drinks. See you then tonight. I'll be looking forward to it. I bid my farewell and exit the enemy's territory to report back to my boss with my Spanish latte. When I step through the doors, I see Boss biting her nails while staring into space. Seems she's still so deep in thought that she doesn't even notice my arrival. Boss, here's a Spanish latte. Ah, you startled me. What were you thinking so hard about? Usually I'm the one spacing out. Boss looks away in disdain and crosses her arms. They have a hot barista. What? They have a hot barista that can make really good coffee. I nod in agreement because that is frankly the truth. Sorry, I'm not hot enough to attract customers to our store. But wait, you just realized? I wasn't paying attention to who worked there, I was so focused on the coffee. Then I overheard some customers just talking earlier about the hot employee over there. Why didn't you tell me about them? Didn't you see her on the day you were about to have a fist fight in the street with the other cafe owner? And besides, you've never asked who worked there, you just asked for the coffee. Boss goes quiet after realizing that I hit the nail on the head. Are you planning on replacing me with a hot barista? No, that's a dumb move. That's why instead of replacing you, I'm going to give you a makeover. No way in hell are you going to. Boss's brooding aura disappears as she cackles at the thought of giving me a makeover. Excuse me. Maybe in the future when you still haven't found a girlfriend yet. Speaking of which, still no luck? Boss, I don't need to look around anymore. I found someone. A loud gasp rings throughout the store as Boss grabs my shoulders and shakes me violently back and forth. You found someone you like? Tell me who. Oh, this is so exciting. You can finally get laid and stop looking so blue at work. Oh my gosh. She really said that, huh? I swear it's probably what drives all the customers away. Oh my gosh. Hey, I don't look blue all the time at work. I mean, you are wearing a lot of blue right now, but anyways, who is it? You gotta show me pics. My body shies away from Boss. As much as I'd like to tell her, I want to keep it a secret a bit longer. Besides, it's not like Romy and I are dating as of yet. There's also the fact that Boss still hates anyone that works at Montage. Can I say it's like Montagny? I don't know. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it anymore. Would she be happy or mad if I told her? I decided to be mysterious and keep her guessing. It's for me to know and you to find out. Oh, come on. Boss rolls her eyes in an exaggerated manner and gives me an unamused face. Can you at least describe her or how you met her? I shake my head and smile mischievously as I continue to avoid answering Boss's dying questions. Just thinking about Romy puts a hop in my step and I continue to heavily anticipate tonight's meeting with her. Drinking with Romy though, I wonder how that will turn out. My mind begins to concoct a variety of scenarios and I stop myself as I almost venture into forbidden territory. I'm embarrassed at myself for even daring to have such wishful thinking. Get a hold of yourself, Juri. It's just a drink with a friend. A drink with a friend that I have an immense crush on. After a good meal of omurice at a restaurant near the bar that Romy introduced, I find I still have about 2 hours before the designated meeting time. An hour and a half left. What am I going to do for an hour and a half alone? I scan around my surroundings to see what I can pass the time with. Crowds of people flood the crosswalks trying to get home from a long stay at work, but as the night crawls closer, the party people are coming out. The blaring lights and rowdy atmosphere is a huge difference compared to what I'm usually used to. Lately, I've only been heading straight home after work, so being in this kind of environment is somewhat refreshing. I continue browsing the area and end up dropping in clothing stores to window shop and scoring at price tags. Although the clothes are cute, I can't seem to find too many that aren't loud. I'm more of a Uniqlo kind of girl. But it doesn't hurt to look around and hope that maybe one day I'll try on these clothes that are out of my comfort zone. I guess that's where the makeover from Boss comes in. The clock in the store reads 8:03 p.m. and I roll my eyes seeing that only half an hour has passed. I put the skirt I was examining back onto the rack and leave the quaint store. An array of video game sounds come within earshot and I see a huge arcade building filled with a bunch of crane machines, enticing me to take a shot. Oh, why not? I have time. Before I knew it, I ended up spending 2,000 yen on failed crane machine attempts. That's a good way to blow like 20 bucks. After stepping out of the hot and stuffy building, I began appreciating the cool autumn wind. I stretched my arms and back from slouching intensely while focusing on playing the crane machines. I didn't even get any consolation prizes. A buzz from my phone startles me and I check who sent me a message, only to enter panic mode. Oh shoot, I'm late! Romy's name pops up in the notification at the same time as I see the time on the phone screen. I'm late! In a flurry, I search for the location of the bar and dash to it, blessing the gods that it's not too far from here. I'm huffing and puffing by the time I get to the place. I check the time again to see how much later I am than I already was. 9:15. My eyes frantically search around for the sight of a possibly irritated Romy. Way to screw things up, Juri. As I near the stairs that lead down to the bar, I see a familiar figure leaning against the wall staring at her phone. Romy! Without delay, I run up to her and start apologizing like I've committed a grave crime. I'm so sorry, I got carried away looking at things and lost track of time. Her brown eyes depart from her bright phone screen and meet mine, except where I expected a more peeved face, I got a delicate expression. It seems you finally found your way here. I bowed down at a straight 90-degree angle to show my remorse in case I haven't already. I'm super sorry. I really didn't mean to keep you waiting. Please don't fret about it. It's all good. What matters is that you made it here in the end. I'm so sorry. Now you're starting to sound like a broken record. Or Canadian. Sorry. She's trying to say it again. She bursts into a fit of laughter and wipes tears of joy as she pats me on the shoulder reassuringly. Alright, enough standing out here in the cold. Come on, you can be a broken record inside. The two of us head down the dim stairs and enter through the heavy doors that lead into one of the most chill places I've ever been to. We take a seat at the bar counter since most of the tables are already taken. The ambiance inside the bar oozes an air of trendiness, yet still manages to maintain a sense of class. It's quite dark in here, but that's what makes the bright neon colors stand out. The wall behind the counter is filled with a variety of alcohol ranging from foreign to local and light to hard. It's not that often I frequent bars, and even a newbie like me can tell that the display of liquor is impressive. Maybe I'll bring some friends here the next time they ever need to vent and drink their hearts out. Romy greeted the bartender easily, probably because she comes here enough to be considered a regular. She orders a glass of gin and tonic, and looks at me for my order. I'll take a margarita. My friend says I'm a heavyweight when it comes to drinking, but I don't want to risk any chances of getting dirt drunk and start spilling secrets. The bartender gets to work with our orders, and Romy swivels in her seat and starts interrogating me. So, what kept you so busy earlier? After eating dinner by myself, I had a lot of time before our meeting, so I just wandered around the shops here. And then I ventured into an arcade building and became absorbed in trying to win, which I didn't at all. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. At least you can drink the sorrow away, right? Her low chuckle was barely audible, but it's so distinct that it still carries out despite the various noises in the background. The uniqueness of her voice is another thing that makes her stand out from everyone else. It has a husky yet hearty tone, but also a slight sense of, dare I say, sultriness, alluring me every time she speaks. I can listen to her all day. To divert myself from staring too long, I turn away from her and focus on our drinks being made. Do you drink often? No, only when invited out by my friends. They're usually the wild ones that go out to drink a lot. I have to work in the morning, so I don't stay out too late, that is, unless I really need to let myself go. I feel you on that one. I'm not exactly young anymore, so going ham isn't exactly the best move for the next morning, especially because I work so early. Though I definitely miss wilding out. Do you have work tomorrow? Maybe you can go wild out tonight. I do have work tomorrow, so unfortunately I cannot go wild, or rather, I shouldn't go wild. At that moment, the bartender delivers our drinks in front of us on a quart coaster with their logo on it. The two drinks sit next to each other, further pointing out the difference in our taste and lifestyle. Both of us have a piece of ours have a piece of lime in it, but that's the only thing in common, just like how we both have the commonality of working at coffee shops. Everything else is completely different. Without another word, Romy takes a big sip of her gin and tonic, followed by a loud heavy sigh. Her face grows weary and she takes another sip from her drink. What's wrong? Romy turns her head towards me and I can visibly see the tiredness in her facial features. Nothing. Nothing wouldn't lead you to a distressed drink when you have work early tomorrow morning. I just wanted to drink with you. I'm not gonna lie, just that one sentence made my heart skip a beat. Maybe 2 beats. But I try not to let it show and continue pressing her. Is that really it? Romy grows silent as she realizes I'm not catching on to her. Or realizes as I'm catching on to her. Did something bad happen today? Or rather, did you know something bad was going to happen today? Is it related to that important business you mentioned this morning? Her silence continues and I might have overstepped a boundary just now. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrogate you like that. You shouldn't need to explain yourself if you're not comfortable. You know what, let's drink the pain away. Romy shakes her head and decides to open up about her issue instead of mindlessly drinking the problem away like I suggested. I was at a family dinner earlier and I hate every family dinner gathering I go to. There's always a dense air whenever I'm there. The room is always full of judgmental eyes fixated on me. I hate it so much. She fidgets with the now empty glass in her hands, and her voice becomes more exhausted than before. They obviously let go of the whole past, but it's clear that they still see me with prejudice. That's why I hate going to family dinners. It's such a dread. The only redeeming thing about it is I get to see my cousins and see what they've been up to. Oh, and the food. Her eyes peer into a glass of what used to be gin and tonic, now only left with melting ice cubes. Another sigh lightly escapes her mouth and her attention pans to the bartender. Can I have another gin and tonic, please? The bartender nods and gets to work. Is it possible to decline the invites? If it stresses you out, you should probably stop going. They were the ones that kicked you out in the first place. Why should they expect you to come back? It's all about saving face. From what I heard, they lost even more face by having a shunned daughter, so they're trying to regain it by accepting you into the family again. I don't know, it's ridiculous. I don't even know what they're trying to do. Speaking of her being shunned though, they still never told me the reason that led to her family banishing her like this. The curiosity boils at me, and I accidentally slip the nosy question out without thinking. What was the other reason you got shunned for? You never told me. Romy looks at me in shock for a moment, and then her eyes wander around the room, evidently hesitant on telling me. After a long pause, she looks at me earnestly and opens her mouth to speak, but quickly zips it back up. Sorry, I don't think I can tell you just yet. But she'll be so open about her feelings. We all know what it is. Oh, no, it's totally okay. I was just being nosy anyways. I understand if it's something that makes you uncomfortable. Thank you for understanding. She musters up a weak smile and goes back to concerningly looking down at her glass as a battle is happening in her mind. A new glass of gin and tonic replaces her old one, and she proceeds to chuck it over again. Can I get a tequila shot? Thank you. My eyes widen in shock as she continually intoxicates herself with alcohol. Should I be worried? Sorry, Juri, it's just something Oh, hey there, can I buy you a drink? A tall man in an expensive-looking suit stands next to Romy with a confident smile, and she doesn't even bat an eye. Romy stays still in her seat and puts on an icy aura around her. I already have a drink. Sorry. The man either can't read the cold tone in her voice, or he really thinks he can pick her up. He leans on the bar counter and drags me into the conversation as well. I can buy both you and your friend's drink. I have a table over there with some others, but I would like to invite you two to join us for a fun time. Romy still hasn't moved an inch to take a look at the man trying to make a conversation with her. I'm taken. I'm not interested. But she said she's taken and not interested. What part do you not get? I get so frustrated for Romy that I accidentally raise my voice in my comment. But also, she's taken? Both their heads turn towards me and I become flushed, clearly regretting my unconscious decision. I start to apologize, but it seems the man's attention is on me now. Oh, you're a feisty one. I like that in a woman. Back. Off. Romy's cold aura quickly turns into a dark and scary one with an expression I've never seen her use before. The man finally gets the point and leaves. Haha, alright, I hope you two have a lovely evening. In a couple of strides, he disappears out of our sight, and it's just the two of us again. Romy's mad face disappears in an instant, and she looks at me with the same soft expression she always has. I didn't know you had that in you. Thank you for telling him off. I don't know, I don't know what happened there. You surprise me with something new every time I see you, Juri. I try to stutter some sort of reply, but nothing comes out except ums and ums. I think we need a toast. For what? For helping me get rid of that guy earlier. There's absolutely no need for a toast over something like that. Besides, you're the one that got him to leave in the end. Only because he was about to. Because you gave me the courage to. I'm still not convinced by her reasoning, but she continues her agenda. Oh, come on. Bartender, 2 shots of vodka, please. I hope you can handle vodka. All I can do is hang my mouth open in disbelief over how wild Romy can actually be. In a matter of time, the bartender delivers our shots and Romy passes one to me. Here, drink up. I take the shot glass from her hands and clink it against hers for a cheer. Cheers! Cheers! The pungent smell of alcohol pierces my nose and the intense burning flavor stings my throat as I scarf it down. That really hits the spot. It really has been a while since I drank. The Romy right now seems to be a lot more relaxed and carefree than her usual self, which is not what I'm accustomed to. However, that's not a bad thing. It makes her seem more human and it puts me at ease knowing she's able to distress. Then I suddenly remember her mentioning she's taken and begin wondering if she's really taken. If she's actually taken, then that means I have no chance at all. I'll nonchalantly ask for confirmation. She seems tipsy enough to probably spill something here and there. Say, Romy, are you actually taken? Huh? You said earlier to that guy that you're taken and not interested. Oh. She throws her head back and laughs an intoxicating laugh while shaking her head lightly. I only said that to ward him off. So you're not taken. I'm not. Jackpot. And I'm interested in someone. In a matter of milliseconds, my roller coaster of an emotion fell from a million feet high and crashed into the ground without leaving even a piece of dust behind. Is that so? I drink the rest of my still unfinished margarita and order something stronger this time to numb the pain I just experienced. Her expression softens as she starts talking about the lucky winner. It's like love at first sight, honestly. They're really adorable, a bit clumsy, fun to tease. We have plenty of things in common too, so it's really easy to talk to them and open up. Although they're a bit shorter than me, I don't really mind it at all. They're good at what they do, and they shine at most when they're talking about something they love. With no effort at all, they can lift up my spirits no matter how low I'm feeling that day. Every laugh and smile of theirs warms my heart, and the thought of them being sad or hurt in any way would pain me. And the more I got to know them, the more I began to fall deeper in love. Her earnest eyes soon grow worried and uncertain as she drinks the untouched tequila shot she ordered before the man interrupted us. The only thing is that I don't know if that person sees me the way I see them. It makes me think that chasing them would bring me to a dead end. And I know that I can let a potential dead end be the end of me, but there's a heavy weight of anxiety of not having your feelings being reciprocated. Oh, I understand that feeling, alright. I'm afraid to confess because I don't want to ruin what we have. I don't want to be hated by them. I'm sure they won't hate you even if you confess, especially if they really treasured you as a friend. Maybe it'll be awkward at first, knowing that you had feelings for them, but I think it'll work out. And I think it'll be a good way to get that weight off your chest. Who knows, maybe they have feelings for you too. You won't know until you communicate your feelings, even if it's a huge risk. That's just a suggestion. You're free to do whatever you want, whatever's more comfortable for you at your own pace. Her face turns to me and she looks like a lost puppy not knowing where to go. I'm just afraid. Hey. I get off my bar stool and give her a hug and pat her on the back. It's okay to be afraid, you'll be fine. If things do go wrong in the end, I'll be here for you and we can drink the pain away like tonight. And I'll be there to take care of you, trust me. I release my hug and see her eyes starting to get cloudy with some tears. Really? This might be the first time I've ever seen her with such a vulnerable face. I thought she had one earlier when talking about her family, but this is on another level of vulnerability. Her defenseless look makes me want to protect her and shield her from all worries. It pains me to see her sad like this. Really. She rushes to wipe them away and tries to shake the emotions out of her. Thank you, Juri. Seriously. Thank you. Even if I don't have a chance with her, I can still keep a good friend. And be there when they need it, right? I shoot her a reassuring smile and friendly pat her on the back one last time. My words and offering are genuine, but I can't seem to take out this tiny thorn stuck deep inside me. Can alcohol possibly flush it out? Enough with the sappiness. We're here tonight to get wild, right? Excuse me, 4 fireball shots, please. I know you have worked a while, but you really need to chill out for a bit. Chilling out is advice more for Romy, but I think that I might have directed that to myself as well. Soon, both of us start accidentally drinking a bit too excessively thanks to the drinking games we started playing, which I don't regret at all, but I think Romy might the next morning. Shrew, rude customers. They treat us like they're above us and make it seem like we're not even human beings. I'll have you know, before working at this place, I was working at the most demanding coffee shop. Oh dear, what have I done? Enough. I just want to make good coffee. If I had all the money in the world, I'd start my own coffee shop and live there. Bartender, another one. No, do not give her another one. You have work tomorrow, Romy. I'll be fine. Show me you'll be fine when you're still smiling at customers at work tomorrow with a huge hangover. She rests her head on the bar counter and closes her eyes while mumbling for another drink. Tonight has been an adventure, and to think I'm even able to see Romy in this sort of state bewilders me. Though time flies by when you're having fun, I didn't even notice it's already 11:50. The last train is probably soon departing, and there's no way we can catch it on time. And even if the trains were still running, I don't think I can manage lugging a barely functioning body around upstairs to the platform on the streets. I'll most likely have to call a taxi for both of us. She's still mumbling something under her breath, and I proceed to pay for all the drinks tonight. I'd feel guilty if I took a drunk person's card and made her pay for everything. I'll split the cost with her tomorrow or something. You gotta be kidding me. If needing to be responsible for Romy getting home safe didn't wake me up enough, the bill's total certainly did. I braced myself for my credit card bill this month. I'm really hoping she pays me back for half of it. With the deed done, I loop her arm around my shoulder and exit the bar, albeit with a lot of stumbling. Because it's a more lively area, there are bright lights and quite a few people walking around, though not as busy as before. And thanks to that, there are a number of taxis circling around. I drag Romy to a more open area where a taxi can easily spot us. As one comes closer, I hail it down and it slowly approaches the curb. The door automatically opens and I struggle so much to place her gently into the cab that I bump her head on the car door frame. Sorry. A small thud sound. It looks like it hurt a bit, but she didn't seem to have felt it. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna feel anything right now. She's pretty drunk. She finally sits properly inside and I join her while the door closes. Where to? I realize I don't have her address, so I try to shake her consciousness so I can get her home. Romy, what's your address? She turns to me with an almost sleazy looking smile and shrugs. Surprisingly, she's still awake and managed to answer me, but not with an answer I was hoping for. I don't remember. Did I hit her head too hard earlier? Romy, don't play around. We need to get you home. I don't know. You gotta be kidding me. I'm not. That was rhetorical, but okay. Now what? Dropping her off at a hotel would cost more money, and I probably shouldn't leave her alone seeing how drunk she is, which leaves me only one option. Through my bag, I rummage for a clean tissue out of a packet and scribble down a familiar address and hand it to the driver. Can you take us to this address, please? There's only one place I know where I can take her and not spend extra money. My place. Oh, so this is the direction we're going, huh? Come on, we're almost there. With all this carrying, my body's going to be aching tomorrow, I just know it. I lock my door and try my best to quickly take the final few steps towards my bed and to send Romy into it. Her body lies still, and all that's moving is her chest, going up and down, indicating that she's very much still alive. I sit next to her sleeping body and remove her jacket so she doesn't overheat. With us being in a closer proximity than ever before, I can see more clearly the details of her makeup and facial features. Her hair is a bit more out of place than usual. Oops, I'm sorry, I just went ahead a little bit. And her face is glowing red. Her jawline is nicely chiseled and defined, and likely very satisfying to run a hand across. Despite being so wasted, her disheveled look somehow makes her look even more attractive. You truly can't not use the word handsome to describe her, as she's equally beautiful. Too bad she has eyes on someone else. I sigh and go take her shoes off, but my arm gets pulled and my body gets pinned onto the bed. Whoa, that's a little aggressive. On top of me is a now intoxicated Romy staring down at me like she's half awake. On instinct, my whole body freezes up while waiting for Romy's next move. However, all she does is quietly look at me. After a long minute, I'm unable to handle being stared at like this, so I try to push her off. You have to get some rest, you're drunk. I succeeded in lifting her off an inch, but she retaliates with even more strength and grabs my wrists to secure them against the bed. My heartbeat speeds up at the turn of events and my mind is tumbling like a laundry machine, unsure of what exactly is going on. I'm sure Romy is just drunk out of her mind and not really in the right state of mind. Juri, you're a really good friend. It hits where it hurts the most. I don't want to lose you. I know we've only just met, but you're very important to me. And because you're important to me, I want you to know that I wait in anticipation for the end of the sentence, but it never ends up being said. Instead, Romy falls asleep on top of me, leaving me with a cliffhanger. Her weight on me acts almost like the weight of blanket I've never had and feels oddly comforting. The grip on my wrist is now loosened, so I slip out of her grasp and carefully push her off onto the other side of the bed. I remove her shoes and tuck her into the now cramped bed. The little speech she gave was touching, and now that I think about it, a little bit cheesy, causing me to giggle at her sentimental thoughts. But in the end, I'm just a friend. I take a deep breath and check up on her one last time to see if she's finally sleeping. Her chest bobs up and down steadily underneath the blanket, and her face is as peaceful as ever. I slap both my cheeks gently to wake myself up. Juri, you're just a friend. Give it up. Even though it might take a while to do so. I lie down next to Romy and stare at her sleeping face. My eyes wander to her lips and wonder what it's like to kiss them. I know I shouldn't be thinking about it, but my foggy mind is irrational right now. My body slowly inches forward, tempted by those enticing lips. The silence in the room makes me hear only my deafening heartbeat. But I stop myself about half an inch away. No, this isn't good. I quickly turn around and face the other way to escape the bait. My heart continues to drum loudly, and I tightly shut my eyes, thinking it will magically curb my desires. Control yourself, Juri. Kissing her won't help you get over her. I tell myself that, but the urge keeps badgering my self-control. My mind quietly reasons with itself, and somehow in the midst of an eternal chaos, my consciousness slips away like it's trying to forget the bad that happened today. A loud ringing wakes me up in an hour I should not be up at. The constant noise causes me to roll in bed and smack whatever it is that's making such a kerfuffle. I roll over to see someone sitting up next to me for a second. I think someone broke into my house. I jolt up and put up my defenses, but the stranger's hand laid on my shoulder and tries to calm me down in a quiet voice. Shh, go back to sleep, it's still early. My brain slowly starts to turn its power back on, and I remember Romy stayed over after last night. The headache-inducing noise is now turned off, and Romy tucks me back into bed. My head rests back onto the pillow and under the warm covers as I watch her leave. My heavy eyelids tempt me back into dreamland and make it feel like I never even woke up. A more familiar alarm sound wakes me up, and I slowly open my eyes and see my bed empty as it usually is. There's a tiny annoying prick in my brain, making me want to lie back down and never wake up again. The memories of last night start flooding back, and now I remember everything that happened. Everything from Romy getting drunk to Romy getting on top of me. I relived the emotional ride from beginning to end, and I feel like I just got whiplash. I shake my head to try to get rid of both the headache and thoughts, which doesn't seem to work for either. Nonetheless, I fight it with sheer willpower so I can actually get to work and get paid. Though I wonder how Romy is doing. I hope she's okay. Ooh, we get to see her point of view. Let's go. Ooh, I'm excited about this. My head is in immense pain, and I believe it is the first time that I needed to sit and take some quick breaks during downtime. Things seem to be spinning, but if I focus hard enough, I can manage a task. There's also what seems to be a bruise near my forehead that I don't remember getting. Oh yeah, I wonder where that came from. I'm sorry. Megami-san walks up to me with a worried face and lays a hand on my back. You doing okay? Yeah, even though it's clear as day as I'm not. Did you drink too much last night? How did it go with that girl? I don't really remember that much. Well, my memory only plays until the point where Juri drove that man away and all the drinking games we played. How's progress with her? Did you make any moves on her last night? I stayed over at her place last night. You stayed over? That's amazing progress. Not in that way. I was drunk beyond recognition. Drunk beyond recognition. Yikes. I hope you didn't blurt out anything. Oh. Now Megami-san has me worrying over something I have no recollection of, which doesn't help the already existing stress. It was nice of her to bring you back to her place instead of leaving you on the streets. She would never leave me on the streets in that condition. Megami-san leans against the counter and looks at me with a serious face. I'm still curious as to what's got you so captivated in her. She's just your ordinary girl next door that you met a few weeks ago. Les? You can't possibly be love at first sight. This isn't a fairy tale. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it kind of was. When I first laid my eyes on her, something sparked inside of me. I was so ecstatic when I found out she works across from here. She could have been a random stranger I never would have seen again. It was like fate brought us together. So I tried to get to know her more. Then once I got to know her more, I found her cute and dorky side. Soon after, I began to fall even deeper for her charms. Ah, so that's your type, I see. She gives me a skeptical look and gestures her head to the groups of customers in the shop. But there have been so many of those that come in and out of there, and they're obviously interested in you. What's different about this girl? What is so different about Juri? It's true that there have been a lot of people coming here trying to get my attention, but Juri's the only one that succeeded in getting it. It's hard to explain, but she's just different. I've loved others before, but I don't think anyone's caught my interest like this, love at first sight. Okay, so my turn to burst your bubble. I kind of think she likes Juri as much as she does, because Juri is very sweet and innocent, and while she acts interested in her, she's not I don't know, being super aggressive and flirty back. I think she likes that Juri is not going crazy over her, even though she kind of is on the inside. What if she's not interested in you? What if her sexual orientation doesn't align with your interests? There's no way I haven't thought of that. That's the whole reason why I'm afraid of confessing in the first place, if she hasn't found out already for my drunk self. I don't want Juri to see me in a different light after finding out that I'm a lesbian. What if she starts distancing from me after knowing that, let alone telling her that I like her? I trust that she's not the type to mind, but just, what if? Then I'll have to move on. Oh, how nice it is to be young. Though you're not exactly young anymore, but seeing you so tripped up like this is very interesting. Very unlike your usual self at work. Megami-san pats me on the shoulder and smiles a half smile. I have faith that you can handle the situation, no matter what the outcome is. But you should at least tell her and get it off your chest. It's fine if she doesn't reciprocate your feelings, because let's be real, having someone return your feelings is pretty rare. Yeah, it is rare, and you just gotta pick the right time and do it, and then, if they don't feel the same way, they don't feel the same way. Don't drag it on. It's not gonna be healthy for you to drag something on that may or may not work out. You just go for it. Best case scenario, things work out, right? And then worst case scenario, they don't, and it's do you really want to live forever not knowing? I wouldn't. Especially when you don't know if they're gay or not. I've been there, not fun. But if she doesn't accept you for who you are, then she's not worth it. Thank you, Megami-san. No problem. I'm always here for relationship advice if you need any. Thank you again. Her words settle down in a spot in my brain and sink in like a heavy rock thrown in water. Just imagining Juri turning me away and hating me creates a black hole in my chest, and I hate thinking about it. I know deep down that she's not that kind of person at all. She's not like my parents. She wouldn't leave me just because I'm not normal. But no matter how many times I tell myself that, the dark thoughts still find a way back into my head. Luckily, this huge headache prevents me from thinking anymore. I close my eyes and try to shut out the pain, but I just end up getting even more dizzy. She tilts her head and looks at me worriedly. Also, if you're not feeling well, I suggest you go home and rest for the day. You seem like you really need the day off. Heck, take the day after tomorrow off too. Actually? She laughs and turns her back to me to start wiping the counters. As long as you don't constantly get drunk and use this as an excuse every time you get out of work. Are you sure? Don't make me say it again now. A smile forms on my face, and I thank the heavens that I was given such a kind boss. Before she changes her decision, I take my leave and head home for the day, grateful that I'll be able to sleep in bed. The confession marinates in my mind alongside the horrid pounding, but thanks to Megami-san's encouragement, I might just bring up the courage and tell Juri once and for all. Yes, please do. Alright, we got Juri's point of view here. I think she's going to end up taking the day off too, is what's going to happen. The person I see through the window isn't the person I was hoping to see. Usually Romy is the one tending to customers and making coffee, but it's her boss instead. Is Romy okay, I wonder? Did she go straight home after leaving my place? Could she have fainted on the street or something? Did she die? Oh my gosh, you're being a little dramatic here. My hands automatically reach for my phone and my apron to send her a message, but the jingle from the wind chimes on the door distracts me and forces me to go back to employee mode. Welcome. I'll have to message her later, I guess. But unfortunately, somehow, a swarm of customers come in, and all hands on deck are needed. Phone away, Juri, we got things to do. Yes, ma'am. I store my phone away in my apron pocket and soon forget about checking up on Romy. Thank you, and enjoy your coffee. The number of customers are starting to dwindle, and the tables are slowly becoming vacant again, something I'm more used to seeing. I slump against the counter from the sudden rush and take a breather. Forgot how fun it was to be busy, despite it being stressful from the chaos. The wave of calmness lets me clear my brain from all the orders just now and gives it a chance to go back to what I was doing. Oh shoot, Romy! At the speed of light, I whip out my phone without caring if my boss sees it or not and open up Ryan to message Romy. I didn't receive anything from her since yesterday's last message asking me where I was. Before checking up on her, I scroll up a bit to reread our previous messages. It's nothing but mindless banter and memes, but seeing them again gives me butterflies in my stomach. Still, the realization resurfaces that there's barely a chance for me to be more than just a friend. That is, unless she miraculously loses interest in whoever that person she likes is. I probably can't even compare to them. There's no way I'm a match for anyone. I'm average in every way. I just make coffee and go home. Rinse and repeat. There's actually nothing special about me now that I think about it. Wow. I start to spiral for a moment until boss pulls me back to the surface. Hello? Is Juri there? Knock knock. Yeah, I'm here. I slip my phone into my apron pocket and direct my gaze to boss. You want donuts? It's pretty hectic earlier, and so I thought I'd treat you to some. On me. No, I'm fine. Boss's foolish face disappears and she grows concerned. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. No, the Juri that's okay would never refuse free donuts, especially if I'm buying. She has a point. Sorry, I'm just tired. I was out late last night, so I'm feeling a bit groggy. Right, is that all there is to it? I've known you for a few years too long to know that you're not okay. Boss nudges my arm and waits for my response with a rare earnest face. A hush falls over us, and the only thing preventing it from being completely dead and silent is the indistinct chattering of the customers. I try to gather my thoughts and put them into cohesive sentences, and the more I piece it together, the more I realize just how much I'm moping and overthinking the whole situation. I decide to drop the issue and not talk about it with boss because I feel like I already know what to do. I just can't bring myself to move on just yet. No, I'm good. The washcloth in the sink catches my eyes and I start washing to keep myself busy and to stop boss from prying. Alright. If you ever need an ear, I'm here for you. Besides, it's not fun bowling a zero energy Juri. I scoff at her comment, but it elicits a chuckle out of me. I know, thanks. Boss may be haughty and blunt sometimes, but I know she's a good person deep down. Maybe I'll tell her one day, even if she'd brush it off saying it's too sappy for her liking. So we got Juri over here thinking, oh, she's into somebody else, I'm just gonna give up hope. And then you got sorry, I need to catch my breath. And then you got her on the other side saying, I need to confess to her, right? Interesting. I was late for work this morning too, but luckily boss didn't give me an earful this time. And it seems Romy isn't in today either, which was odd. I was really hoping she's okay. The day went by at the speed of a snail, and because of all the seemingly extra time, I was thinking about Romy and my now dead one-sided crush on her. Yeah, but Romy likes you too. She just needs to think of how to confess to you, because she's afraid of losing you. Transitioning from liking her romantically to liking her platonically is harder than it's supposed to be for some reason. When was the last time I experienced this type of heartbreak? I don't remember, nor do I want to, yet here I am with this dense hole in my chest. I want to go home and sleep forever. My eyes drill holes into the clock as I painstakingly wait for it to strike 5 o'clock. I'm counting down the seconds and watch the hand move bit by bit. 3, 2, hallelujah! I bend down to grab the cleaning supplies from the cupboard as fast as I can to get started cleaning, but the chimes jingle and a cold breeze of air invades the shop. Sorry, the cafe is closed for the... I get up to shoo the customer away, only to see Romy standing there. My eyes shoot wide open and I drop the spray bottle by accident from the surprise. Ah! My hands catch the cleaning agent in midair and my back automatically straightens out to begin to address Romy's sudden appearance. Romy, what are you doing here? Hey. She approaches the counter in slow strides, clearly feeling nervous, but for some reason, I don't know. Her chocolate eyes look around the shop from left to right and to bottom before they settle on my own. I don't mean to be the customer that comes in at the last minute, but can I get a cup of coffee? As much as I hate those kinds of customers, saying no different seems to be an option in my heart. Saying no didn't seem to be an option in my heart. There we go. I got it. My cleaning duties soon become forgotten. I head to the sink to wash my hands. Of course you can. What would you like? The sound of running water fills the silence between us as she decides on her order. I wipe my hands with a tissue and get ready for the last cup of coffee of the day. A pour over, please. Coming right up. Suddenly the pressure becomes higher since I know that she's particular about coffee. You can't rush a good pour over. Asking me to use a more time-consuming method means more room for mistakes and an error for a keen pair of experienced eyes like hers. Why does this feel like a life or death situation? With my soon-to-be clammy hands, I started boiling the water and weighing the coffee beans. After working here for several years, I've learned to eyeball the amount of beans pretty well, and I've reached the desired weight in the container easily. Down the chute of the coffee grinder they go, and the loud cackling noise echoes throughout the empty store. At first, the intensity of Romy's gaze made me nervous and fidgety, but as I become immersed in the coffee-making process, I soon forgot about the spotlight on me. I prepared the pour-over station with a coffee filter in the dripper over a coffee pot. The boiling noise starts growling aggressively with the drip kettle, and I take it off its electric boiling stand. I begin the process of pre-wetting the filter and then filling it up with coffee bean grounds. Slowly and surely, I pour some hot water onto the grounds to let it bloom and wait 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, I continue slowly pouring water into the grounds bit by bit in a circular motion. Once I've gotten enough coffee inside the pot, I discard the filter with the grounds and pour her drink into a small coffee mug. The strong, intense aroma travels into the air, clearing up the previous staleness of the shop. My eyes nervously glance up to see if she's still staring at me. Unsurprisingly, her deep gaze is still on me, though it softens as I walk towards her. There you go. My words were barely a whisper, thanks to my nerves from this huge exam, but I can hear it bounce off the walls. I place her drink on the table in front of her, alongside some cream and sugar, and hug my tray tightly against my chest. Enjoy. Romy picks up the cup with both hands and brings it up to her nose. She lightly sniffs the dark beverage and takes the time to appreciate my work. I was expecting her to drink it then, but she puts it down and beckons me closer. Why don't you sit down? Am I that scary? Well, no. As she requests, I let go of my tight grip on the tray and put it on the table. I pull the chair out and sit facing her, looking into the dark swirl of the coffee. The sight of the darkness leaves my view when Romy picks up the coffee and finally takes a sip. My eyes widen and I stare at her face, waiting for even the slightest bit of reaction. I don't even realize I'm holding my breath, but what seems to be a positive reaction, makes me take a breath of relief. As expected of you, this is a really good cup of coffee. Just with those words, she's able to release all the tension in my shoulders, and I feel them relax. You don't have to be so nervous. I didn't come here to judge you and your coffee-making skills. I only had my eyes on you at all times because you were the only thing I could have looked at. You could have been looking at your phone. You making coffee was much more interesting. It wasn't anything special, really. I like seeing others' techniques, and yours was splendid. I'm honored you think that. I'm not aiming to be a coffee snob, it really wasn't a test. My eyes shift in embarrassment and look at everything except her direction. It kind of felt like it is all. I know how enthusiastic you are about coffee, so I didn't want to screw it up. You sure you're not just saying that all because I'm your friend? Of course not. Romy takes another drink and a small clink sounds where she places it down once again. Her fingers caress the cup and the lack of conversation causes the silence to return again. I sit there twiddling my thumbs while I try to think of a topic to start talking about, but my brain is too tired to function properly right now. Maybe I should just appreciate the silence but how can I when the woman who broke my heart is sitting right in front of me? I decide to speak up because I can't take it anymore. So what brings you here at this time of day? I kind of missed you since I was home resting and wasn't able to see you the past 2 days. And I was worried I had said something weird that caused you to hate me. I didn't get a message from you either, so I thought you needed a break after dealing with me being drunk. I didn't message you in case you were a bit shaken up from that. Really sorry you had to deal with me that night. I know I'm a lightweight and I should have been watching the amount I was drinking, but I got carried away. Wait, didn't I send you a message to check up on you? No? She brings her phone out at the same time as I do and we both check our chat log. Nothing here. I smack my head in disbelief after seeing I have half the sentence typed down in a text box. I slide my phone over and show her the incomplete message. It must have been when Boss started talking to me about donuts that day. Oh. She goes for a moment at my mistake, but a cloud seems to appear over her. Romy looks at me for a moment and then diverts her eyes back down to her beverage. Finally, the quiet room is filled with life again when Romy speaks up, albeit of a topic I didn't think she'd bring up here. Did I say anything weird that night? Weird? My scatterbrain tries to recall the events of that night, and I remember her drunk rants and her getting on top of me in my bed. At that moment, my cheeks turn a bright red cherry red from thinking about it tonight. Excuse me. Which leads to her monologue that she never finished. It's not like it was weird though, she was just talking about how much a friend she saw me as. I chose not to bring it up, she was probably being sentimental about finding a new good friend she could relate to. No, you didn't say anything weird. Romy's eyes widen in surprise and leans forward a bit to double check if she heard it right or not. Really? I shake my head slowly, triple checking if I missed something. Nothing that I can remember. She's just conveniently leaving out that part where she almost told her that she loves her. You know, not a big deal. It's whatever. Nothing strange about that. Is that so? Romy's acting a little strange, but it could just be my imagination. She continues finishing her coffee, so I take the time to swipe my home screen left and right to pretend I'm occupied. I then notice the time shown on my phone. It's already 30 minutes past the time I was supposed to close shop. In an instant, I go back to cleaning since I'm already behind schedule. Alright, I know you're my friend and all, but I really have to clean up and close the store. I'm gonna have to boot you out if you... I leave for the counter, but Romy grabs onto my arm, halting me mid-step. Her grip on her arm is tight with a sense of desperation. I'm taken aback by her sudden movement, and her concerned expression raises question marks in my head as I wonder if I said or did something wrong. Am I really just a friend? I'm not quite sure why she asked such a sudden question, but I answer her wholeheartedly. Yeah, of course. Whoa, these aren't things that friends do. In a heartbeat, she pulls me towards her and embraces me once again, gently planting her lips onto mine. It's now freaking time. At this moment, it feels like time has stopped and we're the only two in the world right now. The snug embrace gives a sense of familiarity as my body fits perfectly into her. That's right. It's as if I'm reliving the day I first met Romy where she saved me from a near-death experience. Her hold was just as strong and just as comfortable as that fated day. Except this time it's even more otherworldly with the extra sensation of a kiss. The tenderness of her lips feels shy and fervent, like she's pouring all of her bottled up feelings that she's never been able to reveal. Unfortunately, her lips separate from mine and the short yet long-lived kiss comes to an end. Our eyes lock onto each other with our faces only a few inches away from another kiss. You know I'm talking about you, right? When you asked me about the person I was interested in? The picture finally completes in my head, but my brain becomes too overwhelmed to even form a reply. The one I like is you. Gosh, finally. You just need to say it out loud, because, she doesn't get it. Romy was, hinting at it for a while, and then you got her over here just oh, I don't know. Does she like me? I don't know. Maybe. Or I don't think she likes me. She likes someone else. It's please, just don't be so dense. I want to pinch myself to test out my theory, but I'm still shocked from the ecstasy that just transpired. Romy's gaze starts becoming uncertain as she begins to loosen her grasp on me, but I didn't want that. I wanted this embrace to last forever, for her to never let go. From fear of losing the connection between us, and even Romy herself, I grab onto her arm firmly, signaling to stay. Now it's her turn to be surprised from the sudden strength grabbing a hold of her arm. I can see her face is startled with a questioning look, but there's a hint of hope glimmering in her eyes. The tension between us grows so strong that it's almost dizzying. I think I'm starting to click because I'm oh, I want to see the next sentence. I want to know what happens. I want to close the gap again and to feel those soft, passionate lips against mine. I want to feel the fluttering in my heart and feel it burst through my chest. Juri, I pull her towards me with a wanting force, and once again I arrive in nirvana. All I can think about is the bliss of this very moment and the fact that our feelings are mutual. The stress and worries in my chest are now replaced with a warm and cozy feeling, one they'll never be able to forget. This feels just right. Aw, thank goodness. This is what we've been waiting for. It's like that one guy that was kind of made into a meme, like, yeah, baby! Like, this is what we've been waiting for, you know? I release our locked lips, and I feel a gigantic dumb smile on my face appear, but I have no intention on hiding my happiness. Romy's warm hands bring mine up to her chest, and I feel her heartbeat going wild. Juri, I've liked you ever since the day I met you. Even without thinking, I blurred out all my suppressed feelings to Romy at once. I thought it was just a silly crush, but it's not. You were always running through my head, and I could think of nothing but you. You don't know how depressed I got after finding out you liked someone, and I tried to move on, but I just couldn't. Romy interrupts me by stroking my reddened cheeks and calming me down with her soothing voice. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. The misunderstanding is cleared now, and there's no need to worry anymore. She presses her forehead against mine and let out a small, familiar chuckle. To think the best case scenario has happened, I have no words. Who knew you also felt the same way as me this entire time? That's my line. I have no idea if you treated me special or if you were like this with somebody. I didn't think you would ever see me this way. She lets go of my face and holds onto my shaking hands lovingly. And now you know that I do. That I've always have, since the day I saved you. And now that I know that the spark between us on that day was not just a fluke. I don't know whether this is a dream or not. But what I do know is that you're the one I like. No, you're the one that I love. And the one I want to marry. Oh, Romy, I object. What the? Where did she come from? Our precious moment shatters when someone bursts through the door. The harsh words ring through my ears, and what stings more is the words came from a recognizable voice. Boss? Our heads turn to the door, and I see Boss walking towards us like she's about to rip our heads off. I stand in front of Romy to guard her from Boss's wrath, and I try my best to reason. How dare you fall in love with the one you must hate? Boss, please calm down. I know she works at the rival cafe, but who I love shouldn't affect our shops. However, Boss's face relaxes as she explodes into a fit of laughter as her previous objection was never expressed in the first place. She slaps me on the shoulder and wipes the tears out of her eyes from laughing to her. I stand there bewilderingly gawking at her, hoping for an explanation as to what's going on. Sorry, I just had to. I've been watching too many dramas lately. I'm just joking, but oh my god, your face when I stormed in here. Juri, I would never object to you finally getting a girlfriend, even if she's the one causing our cafe to lose customers. But I didn't mean to interrupt you two lovebirds. I just came back from my phone charger I left here. Boss points to a corner on the countertop where a tangled white cable sits all alone. She quickly heads on over to grab it and approaches the door. Before leaving us, she turns around and shoots me dagger eyes. But Juri, you're supposed to close shop ages ago. This isn't a place for you to get it on. Oopsies. And you. She points at her and her eyes and directs them to Romy. I'm watching you. I might have stopped worrying about our rivalry for now, but I got my eyes on you. Her dagger eyes soften and her posture now becomes more casual. You better treat her well. And with those final words, she leaves us alone for good. Everything's happening so fast that my brain can't process it all. It's just constant buffering. So I turn around and look towards Romy as she starts speaking again. Does this mean I've gotten the blessing to marry you? I giggle at her silly remark, but Boss didn't object after all. I guess so. How about getting married tomorrow? As much as I would like to say yes, aren't you missing a few steps, ma'am? We both laugh at the ridiculousness of her abrupt proposal, but it's these fleeting moments with her that bring me true joy. Our laughter is put on pause for a moment, though, as the wind chimes from the door ring again. The customer opens the door, wondering if we're still open. Sorry, we're closed for the day. I apologize and usher them out while flipping the open sign over to say that we're closed. I think I should get back to closing the shop. Romy laughs and helps me with the blinds. Can I help again this time? We can go get dinner faster that way. I'll let you help me if you let me pay for dinner tonight. She winks at me and goes to close the blinds on the other door. Deal. Okay, good. I was like, that's not the end, right? Like, they're not just gonna end it like that? Good, okay. That's fine. 2 weeks later. Okay, boss, I'm heading out. Yeah, go have fun or whatever. Thanks again for letting me have half the day off. If it means you finally get laid after who knows how long, then yes, I'll be glad to let you take half a day off. What's up with her obsessed with having her get laid? Does she just think she's gonna be like this much happier, better, more full or complete person? How generous of you. I know, you're welcome. A knock sounds on the window and I see Romy waving at me. Thanks again, boss. I leave boss alone and join Romy outside. My arm automatically links with hers and I give her a big smile for my excitement. Did you wait long? Nope. Perfect. Anyways, are you ready for our first official daytime date? Of course, it's taken us that long to be able to get a day off when the sun is still up to do something together. There's no way I wouldn't not be excited. I get to spend the whole day with you instead of just a night. Oh, are you saying you don't like our nightly activities? Nightly activities? She flashes me a cheeky smirk and the realization hits me as to what she's talking about. I slap her arm lightly and blush madly, speechless from her shameful remark. You pervert. Aha, I know I am, but you still love me despite that. Anyways, where do you want to eat after the amusement park? What about the restaurant that just opened up near the bar we went to? Oh, I've heard they've been dealing with a case of bad food poisoning. Probably best not to go there. Oh, yikes. Being poisoned doesn't sound too good, does it? How about... Everything still feels like a dream, and I feel like my alarm will wake me up at any minute. These past few months have had many ups and downs, but what matters is our true feelings for each other have finally been revealed. Can't wait to spend my life not being single anymore, and with my, I dare say, soulmate. Honestly, if it weren't for that fateful day, I would have probably continued my monotonous life. Perhaps I should have met Romy later, but would it have played out the same? The happiness I'm experiencing outweighs all the negative possibilities of the past, and I go back to focusing on the present and future. The present and future together with my love, Romy. And the best thing is, neither of us are dead. It could have played out that way if our coffee shop's rivalry was a lot more serious. We could have found a priest that would offer you to drink some poisoned coffee, and then I would stab my... Stop. I already mentioned the poison reference via food poisoning just earlier. That should be enough. Maybe next time. No one's dying, okay? Now come on, let's get going. Oh, that was so sweet. I like the ending. I'm trying to decide if I want to give my thoughts now or if I want to read this first. And then maybe... Okay, we'll read this first and then I'll give my thoughts, okay? Does that sound fair? Hello everyone, this is Team Anpim. First of all, thank you very much for reaching the end of the Love Goes Towards Love. We hope you enjoyed this game's Yuri game entry. Yuri game jam entry. Well, I'm sorry I didn't really play it during the year you released this, but you know. I'm fully aware that this year is a bit more calm and simple compared to the previous years, so it might not have been anything too special for some of you, but nonetheless, we hope it was still a nice experience. This year's story went through quite a lot of changes. It actually first started off with the story of a bartender and an OL. What does that mean? I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is. But I wasn't able to make it work. I got the beginning down, and the middle and end was kind of just stuck in one place, so we completely scrapped it and did a coffee shop themed one thanks to the suggestion of one of my editors. I don't remember how it came to be, but the idea of borrowing some elements of Romeo and Juliet popped up, and here we are. Obviously no one died in the story, but we'd be very much happy if you picked up on some of the references, although there isn't that much. I mean, I could kind of tell at the end what you were talking about. We also wanted an R18 scene patch, but we don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe one day. Although this year's story was generic and simple, we hope to come up with an even better one next year. If this year's entry wasn't your cup of tea, or should I say a cup of coffee, we hope you'll still continue to support us and continue looking forward to our future works. Thank you again for reading Love Goes Towards Love. Until next time. What do you mean? Whose cup of tea is this not going to be? Like, if you like... Okay, well, I haven't played their older games yet, and I'm probably going to. Like, I'm slowly making my way back, because I just found out about them from their most recent game, and now I'm like, dang, I really need to go finish some of their other ones, too. They're really good. But, I don't know... If you like, at least from my experience, if you like My Dream Is to Be a Model, Not a Maid, there's no reason you wouldn't like this one too. So hopefully you guys have watched both, or read both, you know? Alright, let's read the words from the CEO. Hello, this is Udon here. Once again, this whole journey has been really rough. School was kicking my butt and I had a lot of trouble juggling between working on this game and assignments. I'm sure my grades have suffered a lot this semester, but oh well, for the sake of Yuri. You know, that makes everything okay, right? As mentioned earlier in the Afterword, this game is much more on the tamer side than our previous two games. After writing the whole story, I was afraid that it'd be a letdown for some of you that wasn't able to meet your expectations. I'm guessing the other two games, maybe they had more of an exciting plotline going on. I mean, I actually really like this very soft, like, kind of build up to the end. I like it a lot. that thought really got me worried, and it wasn't a nice feeling. Last year's game blew up and got a lot of love and traction, so I was worried that some people might think this game is a downgrade and stuff. Basically a bunch of negative thoughts. But I still carried on finishing it, because it's still one of my babies after all. So I hope that this little story was at least nice enough to bring a smile to your face. Some of our fans sent us encouraging words and love, which really helped me chug along and be happy with what I have. I know that this story might not stand out as much as the others, but I'd like to think of it as a little break from last year's crazy story. Okay, now I need to really play the other one. I mean, I want to play their, what is that other one? It has something to do with salt in its name, but I know they're making a sequel to that, supposedly, so I want to play that so I can be ready for it. We are going to submit it late again this year too, but thanks to the extension, we made it on time. I know I also hinted at making a game for Kite Aid this year, but look at what happened. I didn't. I apologize if you were waiting for it, but I really wanted to write a story that didn't revolve around high school girls for a change. And I thank you for that, because I've only played your ones that don't revolve around high school girls, and I love it. Though maybe some might argue that I should stick to writing high school girls. No. I think you do a fantastic job at writing older girls. I think this has been awesome. Like, I love it. I think your writing style is like one of my favorites. As for the next game, I personally would like to do another adult-oriented setting. I feel like it's a lot more work to think of a story. We will definitely get back to Kite Day sometime soon, maybe after next year. Keyword maybe. Once again, I wholeheartedly thank you for giving this kinetic novel a chance. I also really like that it's kinetic. Like, I like that it's just straightforward. I know kind of how it's gonna end, you know, but that's great. Like, that's what I expect, you know, out of these kind of stories. I really like it. I really hope that you liked it and humbly ask for you to help spread the word. And if you didn't, I hope you'll still believe in us and look forward to our next game. Okay. All right, time to get my final thoughts, and then we'll call it good. Because this was a really long video. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to kind of like take a break in between. Just to run out. I was running out of breath like for a while. So I'm gonna probably compare this a little bit to My Dream Is to Be a Model, Not a Maid. Of course, I mentioned it a few times in the video, and it's the only other game from them I played. I was trying to decide if I like this one better, or if I like My Dream Is to Be a Model, Not a Maid better. I think in some ways I like the two main characters better from this. And that kind of makes me want to say that I like this game better, but it's not to say that the other game is not good. Like, I put it at number 3 for this year on my top 5, so like, obviously it's really good. But I really like this game too. Like, if I would have played this first, maybe I would have been like, oh, I actually like this better. Or maybe I would have said, oh, I like the other one better for sure, you know? Maybe because I'm just having that bias of playing this one more recently. But I really like both. I'll just say that. I'm not going to say which one I like better, because I don't know. I think the only thing I would have liked to see in this one is they talked about 2 things that they never really resolved. That you could do a sequel for this game. There was no resolution on her parents. I would have liked to see her like overcome that and like talk to her parents and then being more accepting of her. It sounds kind of like they were more accepting, but only because they wanted to save face. The other thing I would have liked to see is they talked about, Romy talked about opening up her own coffee shop. Now, I don't know if this is an idea that their Team Anpim's considering for a future, but it would be nice to see a sequel where maybe she does open her own coffee shop. I don't know. But it's kind of hard because I noticed Team Anpim, their whole goal of a game is to get you to the end. Is to write a really interesting story that wraps you into it, and then there's that big moment of love at the end, and that's kind of the story, you know? It'd be kind of hard for them to make a game, I feel like, where they go past that point. I don't know if that's like really their goal or something they'd want to do. But just an idea. I would have liked to see those. Maybe even if it was just a brief CG or something at the end. That would have been cool. But anyways, guys, let's just make sure that's the end. Yep, that is the end. Okay. I really enjoyed that game. That was wonderful. I'll probably be playing some of the other ones here soon because I really love these games. They're very consistent. So far from these 2 I played, they're both very consistent on everything. I go into it, I know what to expect, and it's good. I mean, what more could you ask for? So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you watched the whole thing, thank you very much. Definitely support Team Anpim and their games. Like, they're awesome. I'll definitely link this game in the description. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.